Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
The last time the Harbor Hawks played at McKeon Park, they suffered a grueling 6-hour 12-6 loss to Bourne that included a 2-hour weather delay. Hyannis needed to turn the page, and in a one-game sample, the Harbor Hawks won a 9-5 thriller in Falmouth. And they have a chance to maintain momentum tonight back at home against the Orleans Firebirds. Hello, everyone from inside the broadcast booth. I'm Max Schwartzberg alongside Charlie Adams. Welcome to Harbor Hawks Baseball. Well, Chaz, let's go back to that loss against Bourne on Tuesday. The Harbor Hawks walked 10 on the day. They committed 4 errors in the field, and Mitch Carricker said it was the loss confirming everything needed to change.
Yeah, and it was a grueling loss, 6-hour game, and just a tough one to go through for the players, the coaches, everyone involved. But things did change. Against Falmouth last time out, a 4-run ninth inning led the way to keep the top of the West standings in favor of Hyannis, and that's something we don't really see too often out of the Harbor Hawks. Some late fight kept the Harbor Hawks going and brought home a big win.
Well, I was able to talk about the win and more with Hyannis manager Mitch Carricker. Max Schwartzberg here with Hyannis manager Mitch Carricker. Coach, last time you were here at McKeon Park, it was a really tough loss. You needed a response, and you did that in Falmouth. What part of that game on Wednesday were you most pleased with?
Well, I think the ninth was really good. We were able to work a couple walks, put a good bunt down that they obviously didn't handle really well, and then just quality at bat after that. And Jeff's at bat to bust it open was huge. And then I think from the pitching side of things, Richie gave us a great start, and then the bullpen did a good job of holding them there and giving us a chance to win.
And the runners in scoring position numbers were also really good. You guys went 4 for 12. The last time you guys played Orleans was 2 for 14. How do you think you've been able to climb out of that hole and really get stronger in that category?
Yeah, I think for most of us, it's like just take the results out of it. Try to not get a hit, or I'm going to try to get an RBI here. Just put a good swing on the ball and see what happens. It's kind of what our mentality's been the last couple of days, and the guys have been really good with that.
And you got Tsubasa Tommy making a second start. He was really sharp against YD last week. What do you think made him so electric on the mound, and what do you want him to continue to do well?
Yeah, his command is really good, and I think that's what makes him really successful. Obviously he's not throwing 95, 96, but he throws 4 or 5 pitches for strikes, and if he can do that effectively, he's going to be really tough for these guys.
Thank you so much, Coach. Guys. Well, Chaz, a lot has changed since the last time that the Harbor Hawks played Orleans, but Orleans did erase an 8-1 deficit, but ultimately the bats for Hyannis really fell cold.
They did fall cold. You look at that game, 2 for 14 with runners in scoring position against Orleans, but since then you heard skipper Mitch Carricker talk about it. The runners in scoring position approach has changed. They're taking these at-bats less like trying to drive in runs and more like a normal at-bat, and you're seeing the results pay off on the field.
And a guy who had results in the 9th inning with runners in scoring position, Jeff Luigi. Our own Ava Fernandez caught up with him before the game.
Ava Fernandez alongside Jeff Luigi. And Jeff, you've had a great couple of games up at the bat and in the field. What kind of been working for you?
Yeah, just staying with my approach, trusting my guys around me, and just sort of sticking with what I can do, not trying to do too much.
Yeah, and you've kept your strikeout number pretty low. What kind of has been working for you? What have you been seeing from the pitches, especially adjusting to the Cape League?
Yeah, I mean, you come into the Cape and everyone's one of the best players at their respective schools, and just trying to stay simple and not try and know that you can compete with them, but not try and overpower them. Just do it feels comfortable.
Yeah, and while adjusting to the pitching, you've also had to adjust to the wooden bat. What kind of has been the adjustment with that?
I think early on, just getting blown up inside a couple of times, you just realize that, it's not as forgiving as a metal bat, but you still have to try and figure it out and work through it.
Yeah, and what has been some of your favorite parts about playing the Cape from this summer? You've been here for about 2 weeks now, made a huge impact.
Yeah, just being around these guys. There's not a single person on this team that I don't enjoy being around every day. Playing 6 games a week, you think, oh, maybe we're going to get tired of each other, but I haven't had that yet, and I don't think I'm going to have that for the rest of the time I'm here.
And the fans want to know, we have a nickname for you, Luge. Do you hear us calling you that?
Luge?
Luge, like in the thing, like Tuukka Rask, the Bruins. Have you heard of Tuukka Rask?
I don't believe so.
No? He's the Bruins goalie. It's kind of nickname. And how do you like that nickname? Have you heard it?
I haven't. I don't mind it. Sounds good. I'll just stick with whatever you guys got.
All right, well, that's awesome. All right, well, have a great game today. He's going to be at second base, so let's see if we can get the win. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Eva. Ava, we'll be back in just a moment, but enjoy this interview between Ethan Wax and General Manager Nick Johnson.
Ethan Wax here with General Manager Nick Johnson. And Nick, how do you go about assembling a team like this midway through the season?
That's the $1 million question, Ethan. So we are right now at the draft point of the year. So you have your older kids potentially leaving for the draft to see if they go. And then you have your phantom injuries going on. You have kids missing their home. And this is kind of what Cole and I in the front office, Zach Chase and Mazak Davari, call the mass exodus week. So kind of what we did, and from doing this for 3 years, is we recognize that this happens around this time every year. So we started preparing for this last week. So we've texted over 60 agents, 100 schools. We've fielded, I think, over 100 names. And so we had a lot of guys kind of ready, standing by, and then you're seeing them phase in right now. So it's honestly a ton of work. It's not my favorite part of the year, but it's nice to kind of see the new guys come in with a lot of excitement to be playing in this league. And ultimately, that's who we want playing for us, guys that want to be playing.
And how would you assess so far for your ball club sort of the weaknesses or places you can improve on and some of the strengths as you assess so far?
Well, there's so much turnover, right? So what we were good at maybe 2 weeks ago can change, but I think anyone who's watched over the past couple of nights, we've run the base paths terribly. Pitchers are coming into the game and walking the leadoff batters, way too many walks, way too many base running blunders, and the fielding's flat out horrendous right now. So yeah, there's quite a few things we could do better, but I think this team is a very good team, and you had a weird week last week, but I think you'll see a quick turnaround.
What are some strategies that can improve those weaknesses? And
yeah, honestly, you have a lot of guys playing different positions, right? So it's going to be a little bit awkward for a guy who's played second base all year playing third. So I think it's just getting reps in new positions, and honestly, it's just mental stuff. Like, all these guys know how to run the base pass, and it's just being more mentally aware, mentally into the game. And with the arms, I have full faith in Ray Korn and Blaze that they'll right that ship and come out here knowing these aren't metal bats, these are wood bats. Go attack them. You have a great, I just trashed the defense, but you have very athletic defenders behind you. Let them go make a play for you instead of putting guys on. So that's kind of what I think you'll see from those guys, is attacking the zone.
And you have a lot of turmoil, obviously, people coming in and out. How has the transfer portal impacted your job?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's made it really difficult. You assemble these rosters starting in September, October, in 2 months. We'll start, and we're doing it now, starting to build 2026. So when you build the roster, you're talking to those coaches. And when those kids hit the portal, obviously they're no longer coached by the coach you made the deal with. Their new school wants them to come on visits, so they leave for a week at a time to take multiple visits. And if they commit to a new school, which 95% of them do, they don't go back to their old school, they then have to move. So we give them an option here to take a week off, move their stuff from their old campus to their new campus, and come back. And some players take us up on that, but I would say 70% end up going to their new school. So in which we understand it's a big move. But what we try to do is, again, get ahead of that. Hey, you're in the portal, you're going to this new school, you're going to have to move. If you're going to move and not be here for the playoffs, we're not going to carry you till a week before the playoffs. We're going to get you out early in July. So that's kind of what you're seeing. You're seeing the portal kids, the draft kids move. There's always unexpected kids who have to leave for whatever reason, and then this new wave of kids who want to be here for the rest of the year.
Thank you for your time today, and good luck the rest of the season.
Appreciate you.
Guys.
I think, Dean, they're allowing you to find your own success and your own true independence.
Dean is a whole group of all different kinds of people and communities.
Since I've come to Dean, I've learned a lot of time management skills.
Our community is especially tight-knit, and the majority of our students live on campus. And you are guaranteed 4 years of housing while you attend Dean.
Dean is just full of opportunities for you to embrace, to welcome, so you can change yourself to who you want to be and form your career for the future.
So go through that, all right? Think that way.
Be a bulldog. Have a bulldog mentality in everything you do in life, whether you're playing sports or in the classroom or just socializing around campus.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
Back here at McKeon Park as the Harbor Hawks take the field and the camo jerseys here on a Friday home game. We'll take you through the visiting Orleans Firebirds batting order as Tsubasa Tommy will toe the rubber in just a moment. Anthony Potestio leads it off as he did last time these two teams faced. Luke Nixon batting second with Elijah Iquez, the Rainbow Warrior, batting third. He recorded a third home run on Wednesday versus Wareham. He's been red hot. Robbie Levy hitting cleanup with Jonathan Mendez in the 5-hole. Cashel Duggar does catching in bat 6 with Dawson Bryce batting 7th. Kyle Johnson batting 8th. Javar Williams, who's been in both of the games against Hyannis, but he's not started, finally getting the start batting 9th. And as mentioned, on the mound, Tsubasa Tommy for Hyannis skipper Mitch Carricker. Tommy making his second start of the summer. Last time out was exactly a week ago against YD on the 4th of July. But those are the numbers, 1-2 with a 3.38 ERA. Whip at 1 in 8 innings pitched, and he was stellar against YD. 3 innings with 1 earned run, 2 walks on 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that he ended up taking the loss in that game. He was a very solid performance out of the Tsubasa Tommy Rainbow Warrior, who started the season as a reliever and now is getting some starter reps as well.
And that's something that kind of is the theme of the Cape Cod Baseball League summer. Some guys step into these bigger roles. Of course, at Pima Community College, he did not start a single game in 25 2/3, but now he's heading back out to Hawaii for head coach Rich Hill, and Mitch Carricker is going to allow him to bring some versatility with him, which could play out to his advantage.
Yeah, it's a big advantage when you have a guy who you can stretch that many innings, and Tommy's slowly but surely shown that he can be that guy for Hyannis. And let's take a look through the defensive alignment for the Harbor Hawks. Left to right in the outfield, Charlie Bates, Jason Walk, and Sawyer Black. Infield left to right, McKay, Schaffner, Luigi Camacho behind the plate. Brody Briggs doing the catching, and Ray Velasquez DHing today.
Well, Ray Velasquez, the only natural right-handed hitter in today's starting lineup for Mitch Carricker. But as mentioned, Anthony Potestio will lead it off, the right fielder. He did start last week against Orleans. He had a double back in the 7th inning, couple walks, so a really nice day at the plate. And as mentioned, Orleans erased an 8-1 deficit, and that game ended in an 8-8 tie.
This Firebirds lineup as of late, and they're coming off a tough tie and then another loss to Wareham. Looking to bounce back here.
Potestio in at 310. Was not playing against Hyannis back on June 27th, the first time these two teams met, as he wasn't activated yet. Tommy in the strike zone. Teammates with Gabe Camacho at UCSD. A rising junior, but he's been excellent this summer for the Firebirds. OPS north of 900. Off-speed pitch down low. And I think, Charlie, what was so impressive about Tsubasa Tommy is that the way he had his first start against a red-hot YD team on the 4th of July, and he just came in there and shoved. He put the ball in the strike zone and was really confident. Misses off the inner half right there.
Yeah, and early on here, he's dancing around the strike zone, but you see the velocity, nothing crazy, but the control is there, as Coach mentioned pregame. And that's what we saw against YD. He was attacking the zone and putting away some great hitters for the Red Sox.
And Potestio jumps ahead 3 balls and a strike. He went 0 for 3 last game against Wareham. That snapped a 3-game RBI streak and an 8-game on-base streak. As mentioned, 1 for 4 on July 5th against Hyannis with an RBI double. Swings through the 3-1. Doesn't go to the breaking ball there.
Yeah, the swing from Potestio, a little like stop and go there with the breaking ball. And it just slips right out from under the barrel. That's a great pitch out of Tommy.
A 12.4 Ks per 9 for Tsubasa Tommy. On a 3-2, Potestio ropes it foul over by the Orleans dugout. We'll do it again.
It's so important for guys like Tommy to get their pitches working early in games. You get out on the mound and you're seeing the breaking stuff working, it really opens up your arsenal.
Outfield straight away on Potestio. Of course, Hyannis, the story of the last time they played at McKeon Park back on Tuesday was the walks. We mentioned at the top of the show, 10 walks on the day. This pitch is roped down the right field line out ahead. 10 walks on the day as mentioned, but also 3 hit by pitches. They played a much cleaner game against Falmouth. They only walked 3 last night, or rather on Wednesday. Harbor Hawks, of course, lead the Cape League in both average and OPS at the plate. The pitching, the strikeout numbers are really high, but it's just the walk numbers. A 5 walks per 9 flat on the season for the team. Payoff. Squibb to the right side. That's foul. The battle continues.
This is a great early battle for Potestio. Tommy's having to use a lot of pitches here on this full count and fighting early.
This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Popped up on the left side of the infield, Ryan McKay in foul territory, still going, and he makes the catch for out number 1.
That at-bat lasted a long time, but not too many hard-hit balls, and Potestio eventually pops up. McKay does a nice job getting over towards the Hyannis dugout for the putout.
Luke Nixon coming up. Back-to-back lefties at the top of the lineup for Orleans. Did not play last time against Hyannis, but he was 0 for 4 on the 27th when these two teams met up at Eldridge Park. It's been a tough start to the summer. OPS at 390, the average at 136. 6 for his first 44 through 15 games. Fouls it over our head. Of course, a 1-batter sample size, but Charlie, it's an impressive to see an at-bat go that long that ends in Tommy's favor, not in something like a walk or a free pass.
Yeah, it's so important early on, trying to fight your way through the first inning, and when you're got a fight like that, it feels great when you record the out.
Down low for ball 2. Nixon, a rising junior at NC State. Hitting the 2-hole last game against Wareham, went 0 for 3 with a strikeout. But familiar with that 2 spot in the order for Orleans. 2-1. In the air to center field. Walk started in, now he'll head back. And into left center field for out number 2.
Orleans getting a lot of stuff in the air early on, Tommy. Not too many ground balls, and see if that continues here with Elijah Eakes coming up.
Elijah Eakes, the Hawaii Rainbow Warrior. For the first time, he played in both games against Hyannis this season. On June 27th, he went 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout, but he was the player of the game back on the 5th. Went 3 for 5 with a RBI, a walk, and only 1 strikeout at the plate. He's had a really good summer so far for Orleans. 3 home runs. I want to say through the early goings, but we're already halfway through the full season. He looks silly on the first pitch breaking ball. It's really crept up on us, Charlie.
Yeah, it comes at you quick, and mentioned Eakes' home run in the lineup graphic, and if you watch that home run, it's a line drive straight out of Eldridge Park. He got out in a hurry. He has a lot of power behind him.
Of course, his teammate Matt Miura hit a home run at Eldridge Park on the first pitch of that ball game. Checks his swing on the 0-1, and he did not go. First base umpire Jeff Kinney. And it's so important for Hyannis to grab a 1-2-3 inning to get some bats in the lineup that ended the last game hot. Hyannis played at 4 in the 9th inning against Falmouth. On a 1-1, Eakes takes a pitch a little bit off the plate. Tommy wanted it, but it's not a strike.
Against Falmouth, we saw some wild pitches from the Hyannis rotation and bullpen, and you're not going to get much of that out of Tommy. He works right around the zone. Not too many bad misses out of the righty.
Count even at 2-2. And Eakes, those 3 home runs that we mentioned, they lead the Firebirds. Hyannis, the home run lead tied between Andrew Williamson and Chris Rembert, neither of which are with the team currently. Two down low, and the second full count of the inning. Of course, one to Anthony Potestio to lead off the game. Now one here to Elijah Eakes. Eakes 14 walks to 21 strikeouts this summer through 18 games. On base percentage north of 41%. The payoff, and that's ball 4.
It's a near miss there for Tommy on ball 4, and this time the full count doesn't go his way. And his pitch count's working up now. Gonna pass 20 pitches this inning.
19 pitches, 10 strikes for Subasa Tommy. And he's going to face Robbie Levy, who had a torrid, unbelievable start to the summer. Then he really slowed down in the middle part, especially when they got to Hyannis on July 5th. And then since then, he has been on fire once again. Average at 339, OPS at 842. But back when these two teams faced on June 27th, he led the team with an 1100 OPS. But on the way back up, against Wareham, case in point, 3 for 3. Ground rule double. And he's riding an 8-game hit streak into this game. 0-1 down low. I feel like something we've talked about this summer is that, yes, it's not a 162 MLB schedule, but 40 games is no sprint. There's still a lot of ups and downs throughout the season. And Levy, a guy who's a prime example of that. Chopped to second base, Jeff Luigi. Quick inning for Subasa Tommy. He faces 4. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning. Scoreless.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference.
Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself. Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Back here at McKeon Park, Harbor Hawks coming up in just a moment. We'll take you through the home batting order as penciled in by manager Mitch Carricker. Jake Schaffner leading off again with Jason Walk batting second. Ryan McKay in the 3-hole. Gabe Camacho, that's 4 straight lefties, but make it 5 with Jeff Luigi right behind. Charlie Bates as well. And Brody Briggs at the 7th spot. Ray Velasquez, the lone true righty. And then Sawyer Black, who hit that home run against Falmouth. There was a 3-run shot with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Rounds it out on the mound for Orleans. It'll be JT Rabb, a right-handed pitcher. And he's had a pretty good summer so far.
Yeah, in his first Firebirds start, it was a 3.2 innings pitched and a scoreless gem. No runs with 5 strikeouts. He did give up 3 walks, but he started the 4th inning before being pulled after giving up a walk. Runners on the corners, and he's the first starting pitcher to throw 3+ scoreless innings pitched since Itsuki Takamoto against Brewster on June 22nd.
With Jake Schaffner, the incoming UNC Tar Heel, coming up to the plate. So it's Schaffner, the left-handed hitter, then Jason Walk, the switch hitter. Then you got a lot more lefties, and as we've mentioned, the Harbor Hawks lineup, just the way it's constructed, just really heavy on the left side. And it seems like they've been facing a lot more left-handed starters, but today they got the benefit of a righty. First pitch swinging into left center field. Elijah Iquez going out, but it's the left fielder Levy for out number 1.
Something about that leadoff spot gets you some first pitch swings. You see it a lot with Matt Mura, and now Schaffner at the top of the order. First pitch swinging away, and now the Harbor Hawks quickly with the first out of the inning.
So the switch hitting Jason Walk batting second. He was 0 for 4 on Wednesday against Falmouth. He did draw a walk, but Walk had a really strong start to the season. Then he's kind of cooled down a little bit. Shows to bunt. And there's ball 1. 9 home runs this past spring in Oklahoma. Kind of light tower power for the guy his size. 5'10", 166. Big swing at the 1-0.
Problem with the first pitch swing out of the leadoff is now Jason Walk kind of has to do the discovering that you'd hope your leadoff hitter gets done.
On a 1-1 walk, skies it foul over our heads. And we've seen a lot of Harbor Hawks this season take on the leadership role of, you know, signaling to their dugout what types of pitches they're seeing during at-bats. And that's so essential, especially early on in games, to establish the strike zone, establish the other pitchers' pitches. Reaches for 1, pokes it to second base. Luke Nixon underhand, out number 2. For each Harbor Hawks home run hit this season here at McKeon Park, $50 is donated to the Family Pantry of Cape Cod by Monomoy Real Estate and Construction. And Pretty Picky Properties Select Vacation Rentals. Pretty Picky and Monomoy, the team with everything you need to hit a real estate home run on Cape Cod. Ryan McKay, who's had an excellent summer to say the very least, continues to just mash for Mitch Carricker. Leads the team comfortably with a .353 average and 24 hits. Next closest is Matt Mura with 21. McKay does have 1 extra game played than Mura. He's tardy on the 1-0.
It's been definitely one of your most reliable bats for Hyannis, and wherever he is in the order, usually the top half, he's always delivering. Big RBI getter as well.
He had a 17-game on-base streak that went back to his time at Michigan State that he brought into this summer. But it was broken a few weeks ago. He also lost a 9-game hit streak at that a few days ago. But he was 1 for 4 yesterday against Falmouth, did draw a walk. Even when he's not hitting, he's getting on base in other ways, free passes. On a 1-2, McKay takes upstairs. You can see Rabb trying to go back up to an elevated fastball that got McKay to chase a couple times in this AB.
Yeah, he's been getting some early whiffs out of this top of the order for the Harbor Hawks, and there's some aggressive swings from Hyannis. McKay nearly lost his helmet on the earlier swing of the at-bat.
And for a guy of his size, 5'10", 185, he's got some impressive power. I was down on the field during batting practice, and he had 3 consecutive swings where he homered pretty much the exact same spot left of the scoreboard by the American flag in right center field. And he works it to a full count here. Rabb out of Georgetown. Had a 3.63 ERA in 74 1/3 innings this past spring. Full count to McKay's to second base. Luke Nixon for the second time in a row. 1-2-3 inning and a quick first here at McKeon Park. We'll head to the top of the second inning, scoreless.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
The lights at McKeon Park stay bright all season long thanks to the NAC Cape Cod. The NAC offers 2 locations, Hyannis and Orleans, both offering delicious burgers, tacos, sandwiches, and more. Visit thenaccapecod.com to order online today. The NAC Cape Cod is proud to be the light of the park sponsor of the Harbor Hawks all season long. Top of the second inning here from McKeon Park and Orleans. It'll be 5, 6, 7 due up for the Firebirds. Jonathan Mendez, Cashel Duggar, Dawson Bryce. If anybody gets on, Kyle Johnson will have a chance. And Orleans Charlie made Tsubasa Tommy work in the first inning. He did draw that walk or issue that walk, but I got to say, it was still impressive to see the command of the strikes, and they were just being really petty working those at-bats.
Yeah, they're a patient team out, and you see it in their on-base percentage. They're working at-bats here. And as the season's gone on, Orleans has shown more and more that it's really anyone's game. I know they're sitting at the bottom of their division right now, but it could be anyone's game.
Jonathan Mendez did not play on July 5th against Hyannis. He did start on June 27th back at Eldridge Park. He went 2 for 4 with 2 runs and a strikeout. He's playing third base today. He was the shortstop then. Rising junior at UCSB, the Gauchos. Curveball misses off the outer half.
Another good take from these Firebirds.
Of course, Tommy, 25 2/3 innings this past spring at Pima Community College, a 1.4 earned run average. And he'll be going to Hawaii as he induces a wild swing and a miss. Join Matt Mura, Elijah Iquez over on the Firebirds under head coach Rich Hill this upcoming fall. .57, 170. But pound for pound, he can use his velocity. Launch to left field, down the line. Will it stay fair? It is a foul ball.
Well, that got out of there in a hurry. Turned on, to say the least.
You don't usually see right-handed hitters hit balls like that here at McKeon. Just looked like one of those breaking balls that he left belt high over the plate. Long strike 2.
And for Mendez, you know, he even wants that one back despite the good contact. He got maybe a little too excited there, and that's why you see it pull foul.
Tommy looking for strikeout number 1. Reached for and blooped to left center. That's in. Wow, you turn around first base for Mendez. And a leadoff single, the first hit of the game on either side here in the second.
And Jonathan Mendez does a good job here. After a massive swing foul, he just reaches the barrel out there and gets some good contact into center field that drops in for the first hit of the game for Orleans.
Cashel Duggar coming up for the first time tonight. He was 1 for 5 with an RBI double on July 5th against these Harbor Hawks here at McKeon. .250 start to the season. 1 home run, 3 runs batted in for Duggar. They're shifting him to pull on the infield. Jeff Luigi shaded over towards first base. And down low for ball 2. Duggar didn't play against Hyannis back on June 27th in Orleans. He had not been activated yet. Rising junior at UCLA. Good hitters count here. And it's chopped over to the Orleans dugout.
And for Tommy, when they're not swinging at those breaking balls just outside of the zone, you fall behind 2-0, now you have to come in with the fastball there, able to get a fouled off pitch and try to work your way back into control.
Duggar, one of 5 left-handed hitters in the starting lineup for Orleans tonight. 3 balls and a strike. Tommy walked 1 back in the first inning. Hyannis, of course, kind of the story of the season. Electric stuff on the mound, but a little bit wild as well. A 5 flat walks per 9 for the Harbor Hawks pitching staff. That being said, the strikeouts per 9 at 10.8. And he works it full. So the third third full count of the game already here, only in the second inning for Tommy. And he has largely been in the strike zone. Of course, this at bat, not exactly the same case, falling behind pretty big. But they've just been making him work. They've had some pesky at bats, making him throw a lot of pitches. This is going to be 33 on the day. Runner goes, and the pitch is fouled back.
And after his last start went 3 innings, if to keep going like this, you don't really see him going too far past that this time around. Coming off an off day too, everybody should be pretty much good to go in the bullpen today.
Roped on the ground, first base way out ahead. So that's the 7th pitch of this plate appearance. Of course, he had the 9-pitch walk to Elijah Iquez.
Already 3 full counts this game.
And of course, Mitch Carricker still trying to work Tommy up. We mentioned he didn't start a game this past spring at Pima Community College. It's actually been a year and a half since he last started a game. Runners going on the full count. It's fouled again, and we'll do it again. So I don't want to say uncharted territory for Tsubasa Tommy, but kind of trying to work him and ease him into pitching more consistently. And as you mentioned, Chaz, 3 innings against YD.
Now in this spot, you've seen Mendez get an early jump here. We'll see if it continues.
He is running, and it's a sword swing and a miss. The throw down to second skips in. It's strikeout number 1 of the day, as there's a stolen base as well for Mendez.
Second stolen base of the season for Mendez here, and kind of a situational steal. And wonder how it affected Duggar at the plate. A bit of a defensive swing there on the full count. A nice pitch from Tommy as well.
Dawson Bryce getting his 2nd consecutive start against Hyannis. Didn't play against the Harbor Hawks on June 27th. He wasn't with the team yet, but he went 1 for 4 on July 5th here at McKeon and launched his first home run of the summer, a solo shot. Did score 2 runs. So he's seen the Harbor Hawks well in a 1-game sample. Tommy now falling behind, 2 balls and no strikes.
Bryce, a former Harbor Hawk himself last season, played just one game and across 4 at-bats, 1 hit, and it was a double. Closing out the regular season of 2024.
On a 2-0, Bryce takes down the middle. This next pitch will be 40 for Tommy. 23 strikes through those 39 pitches, however, with Mendez on second. In the air, foul off to the right and out of play. We mentioned the strikeout numbers for Tommy were very high coming into this game. A 12.4 strikeouts per 9. How about 11 Ks in 8 innings entering this start? ERA at a clean 3.38. The Hyannis starters have been very good this season. It's been the bullpen that's really struggled for Mitch Carricker. 2-2 just misses outside.
When you look at that strikeout numbers for Tommy, you wonder how much does it help him when he's coming in after the pitcher who's throwing high 90s, and he comes in, he's throwing a lower fastball with some more breaking balls. Wonder how that affects his strikeout numbers at the plate.
Payoff is hit off the third base coach. Wow. Ball magnet down there.
Everybody got to keep a heads up. He is wearing his protective helmet. Might want to invest in a shin guard out there.
Yeah, right off the right leg.
He's a trooper, though. He looks all right.
This will be the 7th pitch of this plate appearance. Orleans has been pesky at the plate tonight so far. And that's inside, ball 4. Second walk of the day, and Brody Briggs going to head out there, as will Blaze Martinez, Hyannis pitching coach. And I feel like you could take these walks with a grain of salt, considering just how deep into at-bats and counts that these Firebirds are making Tommy work, because he's been largely in the strike zone early on in at-bats, but it's because they're fouling off everything, and he's really forcing Tommy to be perfect.
Yeah, he really has not too much to work with, and when he's in the zone, you get a swing like Jonathan Mendez put foul at least, and then even his base hit was a nice swing on a tough pitch, but he has to do a lot here against this Orleans lineup, and they seem to have come prepared. They're putting up good at-bats, and now you're starting to see some people stretching out in the Harbor Hawks bullpen.
Orleans comes in with a .214 team average, OPS at .640. It's Kyle Johnson, the designated hitter at the plate for the Firebirds. Rising junior at Virginia. And he hits the first pitch in the air to left center field. Long run for Charlie Bates. He will not get there as it bounces in. Mendez has scored. Dawson Bryce trying to go first to third. He will. It's an RBI double for Kyle Johnson, and Orleans takes an early lead.
Tough location here coming off the mound visit, and Johnson did not miss it. Straight into the gap, and Bates sprinting after it, has to field it off the wall. A stand-up double, and that's how Orleans gets on the board first here tonight.
Well, it'll be Javar Williams, and as we mentioned at the top of the show, he's played in both games against Hyannis this summer, but he's not started in neither one of them. So this is his first start. He's come in as a pinch hitter both times. Still a big threat on for the Firebirds. Shows the bunt, and it's a good one. A squeeze, and Tommy goes to first. Safety squeeze is complete. Another run home for Orleans.
The Firebirds manufacturing runs here, dropping down the bunt, and it's an effective one. It's what you kind of have to do. It's been a tough go of it for the Firebirds. Now you're up 2 runs. That insurance run is always a big run for any team.
Top of the order, Anthony Potestio takes strike one. Of course, last time these two teams faced off on July 5th, Orleans erased an 8-1 deficit. A game that it looked like it was Hyannis's through the first couple innings, then Orleans just kept clawing back as the night went on.
Lineup flipping over. Tommy bouncing back up 0-2, and a nice pitch there to get the whiff out of Potestio.
Another run 90 feet away for Orleans, but with 2 outs. And it's fouled painfully off Potestio. Jim Fonseca, the home plate umpire, some professional courtesy. Potestio second on the team in batting average. Of course, he popped out to Ryan McKay to lead off the game back in the first inning. Oh, 2 in the air on the infield left side. Jake Schaffner in the outfield grass. Ends the inning. Orleans plates 2 here in the top of the second inning. We'll head to the bottom half. Hyannis coming up.
You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Bottom of the second inning here at McKeon Park, 2-0 Orleans. And it's time for the Who's That Harbor Hawk clue.
2019. 230 average. Not the best stats there, but it's an interesting third team down the list. Kind of narrows down the options, and I do know the answer, and I do make all these graphics, so I will say.
You said that you thought I'd get it. I don't have Savannah Banana ball knowledge. I mean, I know a couple players on the Bananas, but I don't know if they played on the Hyannis.
I think even if you just know a couple of players on the Bananas, you might have a good guess at it.
All right, I won't say it on the air, maybe in between innings, so I don't spoil it for any of you.
Honestly, I think it might be the easiest one of the season. I know we just did Christian Moore and some of the most recent Harbor Hawks.
Well, I was right. Silently wrote it down in Charlie Adams. I guess it was really one of like 2 options for me. Gabe Camacho up for the first time tonight. Fastball right there.
You can chime in on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Harbor Hawks, to tune in to Who's That Harbor Hawk. Play along at home. We'll have the answer in the bottom of the 5th.
Fisted to the right side. Luke Nixon cuts it off. He's been busy. That's now 3 consecutive outs to him.
Not much to write home about for the Harbor Hawks offense early. And now some work to be done after the top of the second.
Jeff Luigi coming off a great game at Falmouth. 2 for 4 with a stolen base and a big 2-run single in the 9th inning for insurance. The Harbor Hawks got the go-ahead run. It was tied at 5 on a bases-loaded walk, and then Luigi, kind of the dagger, if you will. The Duke Blue Devil shows bunt, pops it foul.
Combating the overshift placed against him and unable to get that down cleanly, but a lot of room down the third baseline for Luigi.
He's playing in his 9th game tonight for Hyannis and Mitch Carricker. Again, shows the bunt and fouls it off once more. Clearly trying to beat the shift on the left side of the infield.
And it's a high-risk kind of play. Now you're down with 2 strikes, and you're likely going to have to swing away here. But even still, it might be a good idea if you can keep it fair.
And he tries to beat it, and he'll do just that. If he can beat the throw, and he does. Jonathan Mendez, the third baseman who's playing by where the normal shortstop would, almost got it in time.
And you do a great job trying to beat the shift there. Just making it a near impossible play for Mendez. And when you have enough wheels that you can get down the line in time, it's a bit of a no-brainer. Hard hustle down the line and a real tough play.
Charlie Bates, the white-hot Charlie Bates, takes ball 1. Well, Bates, it was an 0 for 19 with 14 strikeouts out at one time, but since then he has climbed out of the slump. Was 2 for 3 against Falmouth on Wednesday with a walk and an RBI. And count level at 1. And a guy like Bates, it just goes to show you the ups and downs of a season, of a summer. Did not play a lot at Stanford. And really getting a lot of consistent reps here in Hyannis. Skies win to right center field. Javar Williams to the warning track for out number 2.
A long second out there, but keeping it on Bates. You know, there's a guy, when you see a guy struggling like that but able to pull through, you wonder how scouts take that. Sometimes it can mean a bit more when you know a player can go through a slump and come back the other side a better player, working through different opponents, especially in the Cape League, can be a step up for some players.
Brody Briggs fouls one back. He homered against these Firebirds back on July 5th, his first home run of the season. But it's been a pretty rough start for the Arizona State Sun Devil. OPS at 437 through 38 plate appearances. Runner goes at first, the pitch, a ball, the throw down to second. Is well in time. That will end the inning here. We've played 2, a 2-0 Orleans lead.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
Top of the third inning here at McKeon Park, and let's take a look at the standings. Of course, it's never too early. We're halfway through the season. In the East, YD at their familiar post, and we got the points looking 26 points for YD, Brewster, Harwich, Chatham, and Orleans. Harwich, they've been on fire as of late. Hyannis leads the West by 2 points. Falmouth right there behind them. Bourne, Cotuit, and Wareham. Of course, the East looks, at least to the first half of the season, Chaz, a little more competitive this year, but that could play into Hyannis' advantage, but they're still going to be looking to play some good baseball.
Yeah, it's anybody's ball game here, especially with the point system, and a lot of ties there. Only one team left without a tie in Wareham, and a bit more than last season, but we'll see. All-Star break's coming up.
I believe it's this upcoming weekend, right?
Yep.
It just creeps up on you. Wow. Luke Nixon will lead it off. It'll be 2-3-4 for Orleans. Elijah Iquez after him, Robbie Levy. Jonathan Mendez a chance if anybody gets on base. Nixon flew out to Jason Walk in center field back in the first inning. Tommy, who's had to work hard today, already 49 pitches deep through 2 innings. Will get another inning of work. There is action in the bullpen for Mitch Carricker. It looks like Santi Garcia from my vantage point.
Get a closer look here.
One count to Luke Nixon. Average at just 133 after the flyout. He has really struggled so far this summer for Orleans. Crack to first base. Camacho on a high hop for out number 1.
A roped ground ball there, and Camacho fields it off to his side, but able to bring it in. A nice stop.
Elijah Iquez still has not registered a plate at bat today. He walked back in the first inning. Getting another look at Tsubasa Tommy, his future teammate. Of course, both going to be at Hawaii this upcoming fall. Iquez a returner, Tommy a newcomer.
From what we've seen in the Cape League, Hawaii seems to be building up a good amount of...
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Strong talent, especially on this stage.
Rich Hill trying to vouch for his players, getting them to play the most premier summer baseball you can. And a long way away from Hawaii, that being said. You got like 5,000 plus miles in between Hawaii and here in Cape Cod.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
I always wondered about just like the travel for Hawaii, the baseball team, because your closest competition, you got to fly across the entire Pacific Ocean. On the ground left side, McKay spins and fires. High throw, but Camacho is tall. He comes back on the bag for out number 2.
That's a tough play out of Ryan McKay. Stabs at it and spins, sets his feet. And it's really that spin right there that really is the make or break part of that ground out. You got to make sure you're facing first base. You don't have much time.
Robbie Levy grounded out to Jeff Luigi. Last time up, that ended the first inning. Tommy looking for an economical third after he's had to work a lot. 55 pitches deep through 2 2/3. On an 0-1, Levy grounds at the second base. Jeff Luigi gets twisted up, but he recovers. The throw is wide, but Camacho comes back one more time. We've played 2.5. We'll keep it right where we are as we're met with our own Ethan Wacht sideline.
One trend that has emerged so far this season is the hitting prowess the Harbor Hawks have displayed against left-handed pitching. The Hawks feast when southpaws are on the mound, with a league-leading OPS of .810, supported by a .296 average at the plate. Only Brewster has a higher batting average by 2 points. By contrast, the Hawks are hitting just .245 against right-handed pitching, 51 points lower, good for third in the league. The team's OPS is more than 100 points lower. No place is the disparity more apparent than among the team's 3 leading hitters. Center fielder Matt Muro leads the league with a .533 average versus lefties, but is hitting just .245 against righties. Jackson Willits and Ryan McKay have the 2nd and 4th overall batting average in the league, respectively. But when they see lefties, they excel even further. McKay, who hits from the left side himself, bats .450 versus southpaws, 137 points higher than his average against righties, while Willits bats .417 versus lefties as compared to .345 against right-handers. Orleans started a right-hander today, and Wareham starts another right-hander tomorrow. I wonder if teams are starting to adjust their rotations to take advantage of this trend. Does the broadcast team have any thoughts about this? Guys, back to you.
Thanks very much, Ethan. And I got to say, it's been really impressive to see the way that this team a left-handed hitting heavy team has responded to left-handed pitching. And as you mentioned, that 810 OPS to lead the Cape League. You know, I talked to Carricker a couple days ago about what needs to be sharp about their approach, and he just says it's the reality of having so many left-handed hitters and just staying true, trying to use the opposite field, and they've been really good.
And left-handed hitters know they don't want to be a platoon bat. They want to be able to hit both sides. And when you're able to do so well, that makes you a very valuable asset for any team.
Brody Briggs was up when Jeff Luigi was caught stealing. Briggs in at 0.97.
Now would be a good time for the Harbor Hawks to build some momentum after Tomey's 1-2-3.
Down low for ball 2. Well, something the Harbor Hawks did a really good job of earlier in the season is after a 1-2-3 inning, coming back and staying hot at the plate, and vice versa. Same with the pitching. But as of late, or during that losing streak, line to second and over the head of Nixon. A base hit for Brody Briggs, and a good start to the third inning. Well, on cue, as I was saying, the Harbor Hawks trying to build off the momentum of the opposite side. The pitching did well. The hitters come out hot. If the hitters were hot in the inning, the pitchers get a 1-2-3, and a good start for Briggs.
Yeah, and Briggs right in between that 1-2-3 inning behind the plate. Takes off the catching gear and quickly back with a sharp single.
Ray Velasquez, the only natural righty in this starting lineup. Looks at strike 1. You go lefty, switch, left, 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 righty, and Velasquez, and then a lefty, and Sawyer Black on deck. But clearly, as Ethan mentioned, the stats don't lie. The Harbor Hawks able to match it. Velasquez amid a big slump at the plate. He had the team best batting average through the first week at 389, but since then he's really cooled down.
And he just had to go up against a great curveball. Gets a swing and a miss here.
In the dirt, nice block behind the plate by Keschel Duggar.
You mentioned all the lefties in the batting order. Then you look at the bench. No lefties there, 4 righties. And Jackson Willits, the switch hitter.
Velasquez was 0 for 5 against Falmouth on Wednesday. Did strike out once as well. For his last 14 at the plate. On a 1-2 pitch, Velasquez strikes out. That's the first strikeout of the game for JT Rabb. And it's out number 1 here in the bottom of the third inning.
Ray Velasquez is, as we mentioned, struggling a bit there, and that at bat faced a bit of Rabb's best stuff today. Attacking and really working with the off speed.
Starting to stop for Briggs, and Duggar thought about a snap throw to first. Sawyer Black hit that 3-run home run on Wednesday in Falmouth. It was in the 5th inning with 2 outs. His first home run of the Cape League summer. He had 3 home runs in limited playing time at UNC, just 16 games. But those three-round trippers was impressive. The OPS at 977 for the Tar Heels. He was the former #1 overall outfielder in North Carolina, number 3 overall prospect. Briggs on first. Ball 2.
His OPS over here in the Cape League, pretty close to that number. Getting up around 950 through a small sample size. The 231 average and the home run last time out.
Good hitters count to a good hitter. Inside for ball 3. So after the strikeout of Ray Velasquez, a bit of a wild spell for JT Rabb on the mound. Rabb came into this start with a 7.4 walks per 9 in 3 2/3 innings. So 3 walks in those 3 2/3. Taken all the way, strike 1.
Harbor Hawks about as flipped the lineup over, and I'm excited to see how Hyannis responds the second time through. There are a couple of 1, 2, 3 innings.
In the air to left side, Elijah Iquez, out number 1, out number 2.
And really the only person who got a couple looks at Rab before his at-bat, or at least his official at-bat, was Brody Briggs. And then he comes back in the next inning and gets a solid contact single to the outfield. So we'll see how the Harbor Hawks respond here with the top of the order.
Jake Schaffner didn't see a lot of pitches. He was first pitch swinging back in the first inning. Flew out to left fielder Robbie Levy. Briggs getting really big secondary leads at first. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a delayed steal. Big gap out towards right center field, and Schaffner takes a strike on the outside corner. Didn't appreciate the call from Jim Fonseca.
Now down 0-2. All the control shifts over to Rab, and we've seen what he can do with his curveball, his off speed. We'll see what he mixes in here.
Fought foul off to the left, out of play. Schaffner, of course, going to be transferring into UNC from North Dakota State. I asked him, what does he really want to work on this summer? And he wants to find some more power in his swing. Gap-to-gap power as well. He reaches for this one and bloops it to left. Levy coming in. He won't get there. Briggs going to go first to third as there's another bobble by Javar Williams. Schaffner ends up on second base from the miscue, and the Hawks have something brewing here in the last of the third inning.
And this should be scored a double, I think. I don't see anyone touching it there, and Schaffner really was hustling towards second base. The late bobble, you nearly thought a run might come across.
Jason Walk with an opportunity, the tying run on second base here in the last of the third inning. And he swings at the first pitch. You can see he's frustrated with himself after electing to swing at that one. He grounded out to the second baseman, Luke Nixon, back in the first inning, last time up. We still haven't officially ruled it. And it's a double. There it is.
And even now, Robbie Levy's shifted towards that left field line. I think even if he was playing a little more to the right, he cuts that off for a single.
Yeah, big hole by shortstop. Elijah Iquez playing almost right behind the second base bag. And another miss outside for JT Rab. 2 ducks on the pond for the Oaks. For the Harbor Hawks, excuse me. Here in the bottom of the third. Fouled over our heads.
Another full count here. First one of the day for the Harbor Hawks. We've seen a lot go against Tommy on the mound with Orleans working counts.
And Walk strikes out swinging. Harbor Hawks leave 2 on base here in the third inning. We'll head to the top of the fourth, 2-0 Orleans.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the rental source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
When I started teaching on the Cape 30 years ago, you could buy a house on a teacher's salary. But today, teachers, public safety officers, healthcare and hospitality workers, the people who make the Cape work, are struggling to find homes they can afford. And I really worry about the kids who will follow us. I think it's time we learn to do better.
If housing on Cape Cod matters to you, join us at capehousingmatters.org.
Back here now in the top of the fourth inning, we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Harbor Hawks. It looks like Mason Russell. Last time out was on the 29th against YD, 1 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, and 1 walk. The rising sophomore out of U of A. So changing the arm angles as I'm joined by Sam Montag. I want to thank Charlie Adams for his time in the booth with me. And I think a cool opportunity for Russell to go from the righty to the lefty, Sam.
Oh, for sure. Definitely a good opportunity for him and a good outing from Tsubasa Tommy tonight. 2 runs allowed and 2 hits as well. But he went 3 innings. He showed some good signs throughout, and there you see Mason Russell's stats in so far this year. He's had a couple of really good outings, a high ERA for sure, but throughout the entire season, he's shown a lot of promise, and that's why Coach Character feels comfortable giving him the ball in this situation.
Devin Mitchell has taken over in left field for Charlie Bates, making his Harbor Hawks debut.
So a big opportunity here for Devin Mitchell. Not often that you get to make your debut for the Harbor Hawks. There's a lot of excitement around it, and it'll be so good to see what he does.
Kind of getting thrown into the fire, I guess you could say, right off the bench and slotting you in at the outfield. And it looks like Charlie Bates is in center. So I believe Jason Walk has exited this game. And I will say, it looked like after that strikeout that Walk was wincing a little bit. Of course, don't want to project any injuries, but he was kind of gingerly walking off the field.
You never want any injuries to occur in a summer league game. So hopefully Jason Walk is all good, and we'll see him back out tomorrow.
Cracked in the air to right center field. And playable for Sawyer Black. There's out number 1.
Nice pitch there from Mason Russell, able to get the fly out on Mendez, and that's exactly the way that you want to start your outing. A 4-pitch fly out shows a lot of promise and gets him ready to face the next 2 batters.
So it was, as I assumed, Devin Mitchell in left field, and Charlie Bates moves from left to center. Cashel Duggar shows the bunt, pulls it back. That just speaks to the versatility of the Harbor Hawks. We've seen Bates at shortstop, we've seen him at third, we've seen him at second, left field, and now center field.
Such a tool for Coach Carricker to be able to put his players anywhere that they need to go, and especially Bates, who's played practically every position at this point in the field.
Well, speak of the guy, right out to him. And he's got out number 2. Dawson Bryce has not registered an at-bat today. He walked back in the second inning. Down low from Mason Russell. Bryce replaced Michael O'Shaughnessy at first base last time out against Wareham. And his lone at-bat, he had an inside the park home run to dead center, his second home run of the summer. And the first inside the Parker for Orleans. So kind of a crazy way to make your presence known, pinch hit. We've seen Michael O'Shaughnessy in both of the first 2 games against Hyannis. Of course, a notable omission against Mitch Carricker tonight. 2-1.
Mason Russell doing a phenomenal job of tunneling so far in this half inning. Able to keep the pitch count a lot lower than Tsubasa Tommy, and that's going to pay off dividends for him in the end.
2-2's fouled back to the screen. We'll do it again. And the Harbor Hawks pitching outside of the walks has been very strong this season. As we mentioned, the ERA, one of the lower marks on the Cape League. Of course, maybe the last couple games, especially with that loss to Bourne on Tuesday, inflating that. But through the first maybe 15, 20 games, it was pretty sound. They were third in the Cape League through the first 10 games. Had a little bit of a slow spell, but then these last couple games, Sam, the walks just really crept up on them.
Yeah, they've picked up for sure, and it's something that Coach Carricker has repeatedly stated. They have to stop these walks, these free passes. We saw 10 of them against the Bourne Braves just the other night, and it's something that they're really going to have to focus on for the remainder of the season.
Well, and the dangerous count here, that works at full. Tsubasa Tommy had 2 walks on his day. He had to throw a lot of pitches. These Orleans Firebirds hitters were very pesky at the plate. Very deep plate appearances. Payoff is on the first base side. Gabe Camacho for a nice, easy 1-2-3 inning for Mason Russell. Led to the bottom of the 4th inning from McKeon Park. A 2-0 Firebirds lead.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the rental source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
When I started teaching on the Cape 30 years ago, you could buy a house on a teacher's salary. But today, teachers, public safety officers, healthcare and hospitality workers, the people who make the Cape work, are struggling to find homes they can afford. And I really worry about the kids who will follow us. I think it's time we learn to do better.
If housing on Cape Cod matters to you, join us at capehousingmatters.org.
Bottom of the 4th inning, and let's compare stats between the Harbor Hawks and the Firebirds here at McKeon Park. So the batting average, of course, Sam, Hyannis leading the entire Cape League in that mark, so a very daunting difference. But the earned run average, not too far off, 4.41, 4.6, and that's what we've been talking about last half inning. That's really ballooned on them, but the record's very different, as you guys could see.
And we've said it time and time again, the hitting is not the problem for the Harbor Hawks. They lead the league in so many different categories, average being one of them. And here you see an incredible 45-point lead over the Firebirds. But it is those free passes, it is those walks, those hit by pitches, those errors that are costing them games. And that's why the earned run average is up, and that's why their their record isn't quite as good as it should be.
Ryan McKay will lead it off for Mitch Carricker, the heart of the Hyannis order. 3-4-5 due up with McKay, Camacho, Luigi, and anybody gets on Charlie Bates will have a chance. So this is the part of the lineup, or if you go right down to Brody Briggs, 5 lefties in a row. And as we talked about a little bit earlier, and as our wonderful Ethan Wax spoke about with stats to back it up, there's just not a lot of a difference for these Harbor Hawks. An 810 OPS against left-handed starters. Of course, facing a righty in JT Rabb. First pitch swinging and into shallow right center field. Anthony Potestio and Luke Nixon back, and it's Nixon, the second baseman, for out number 1.
You saw that ball really carrying in the infield. Something that we're going to see a lot of tonight. The wind is pushing out. Could really help hitters later in this game, and hopefully will allow these Harbor Hawks to get a little bit more under a pitch and let it carry a little bit further.
Gabe Camacho looking for his first Hyannis home run of the season. Takes ball 1. Prolific power hitter out of UCSD. He had 10 home runs his freshman year at Pacific. Transfers to UCSD, popped 7 his sophomore season. And he ropes it to right center. That's in for a hit. Camacho takes around first base. Third hit of the day for Hyannis with 1 out in the 4th.
beautiful piece of hitting there by Gabe Camacho, able to read it right out of the pitcher's hand, shoot it right back the same way, and a hard hit single there to get on base and give these Harbor Hawks a chance to strike in the 4th inning.
Jeff Luigi, who singled his first time up, getting a second look at JT Rabb. That's in the dirt. It's going to get away. Camacho's going to round second. He is going to go for third. There will be no throw. A 2-base wild pitch. And the Harbor Hawks have a duck on third base with 1 out in the inning.
It's not too common that the Harbor Hawks are on the other side of the errors, and here they take advantage. They find themselves in a situation where they're really able to take control of this game. If they're able to pull through, they need Jeff Luigi to pull through in this big situation. They need him to get on base. They can't allow that second out to be made quite yet.
Luigi ropes it to right, but he's out ahead. Camacho on third. Third baseman Jonathan Mendez even with the cut, and he checks his swing. Did he go? No, he did not, said Martin Hassenhaus. Tying run is at the plate in Jeff Luigi. In the air to left field, that's hit well. Robbie Levy on the run. He will not get there. Camacho comes in to score. Jeff Luigi rounds second. He wants 3. The throw in. It gets away. An RBI triple for Jeff Luigi. And the Harbor Hawks cut the lead in half. It's 2-1 Orleans.
What a piece of hitting by Jeff Luigi. Goes opposite field with it. Does his job. Finds a gap. And just the 3rd triple of the season for this Harbor Hawks team. But there, such a crucial play. He brought the Harbor Hawks back into it, but not only that, he was able to find that third base. He dug it out. He was gritty with it. Now, the Hawks suddenly find themselves with a guy on third, just down 1.
Jeff Luigi now 3 for his last 3, with 3 runs batted in, dating back to Falmouth on Wednesday. He is white hot at the plate. And another guy who's hot, Charlie Bates, coming up. And Sam, even going back to his first plate appearance, he flew out to very deep center field. It was a good AB. As we got our Hyannis Game Day guys updating the Twitter. This will induce a mound visit.
Well, just like you said, Max, a really good fly out for him in during his first at-bat, I should say. But I want to go back to that Falmouth game real quick. It's important to remember, it was Jeff Luigi that had that hit in the 9th inning that really sealed the deal for the Harbor Hawks. And so he's red hot right now, and he's red hot in clutch situations. And when you're a baseball player, there's really no better feeling.
Well, we will take a quick step aside and meet the new pitcher on the other side of this break. New pitcher after JT Rabb is done. It's Truman Pauly, a rising junior at Harvard. We did see him on June 27th against Hyannis in Orleans. A fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, cutter mix. He is draft eligible, and he's looked okay this summer. That 13 innings pitch margin, but 9 earned runs, so the ERA at 6.23, and you figure you'd want something a little lower with the wood bat margin.
And so this is going to be one of those situations where the Hawks have to take command early. We've seen them come out time and time again in the first inning and score runs, and they have to treat this situation the exact same way. They have to continue piling on the runs because we've seen big innings be their go-to in the past.
That'll end the book on JT Rabb. 3 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, and 2 strikeouts. But he is responsible for the man of the hour, Jeff Luigi, on third base. That's the tying run for Hyannis as Charlie Bates, and we mentioned the aforementioned white hot Charlie Bates coming up. Bates a couple hits yesterday, but it's really been since he broke out of that slump on Sunday with the triple. And Sam, you were able to talk to Charlie a little bit earlier today.
Oh yeah, Charlie honestly is in one of the best headspaces I've ever seen a baseball player in. He's feeling confident at the plate, and that's exactly what you want out of somebody that you put so much trust in night after night. He said that right after he got that triple, that big one that really took him out of the slump at Brewster, that was just that feeling of satisfaction, the weight lifted off your shoulders, and he has been white hot since.
Well, Orleans will bring their infield in with Luigi on third base. A run already home here in the last of the 4th inning. In there for strike 1. And I mentioned before the break that Bates, his first at bat, nothing to show for it. It was a deep flyout, but he hit it really hard. Probably the deepest ball we've seen him hit all summer long.
And that's one of the things that we've seen with Charlie Bates ever since the Brewster game. He's been having really good at-bats. And even when he's not getting on base, he's putting good wood on the ball, and he's able to put that trust back in Coach Carricker to continue putting him in the lineup.
Fouled. Oh, he caught it. Cashel Duggar holds on.
That is about as unlucky as you can get for Charlie Bates. Just a foul tip that Cashel Duggar able to just pull out of thin air. Almost a look what I found type of reaction there. And suddenly, Paulie finds himself with 2 outs in the 4th inning.
Brody Briggs 1 for 1 today as the infield goes back to their normal positioning. Last time out for Paulie was against Bourne on July 2nd, so it's been a while. He went 2 innings with 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts, didn't walk any. And he falls behind him, Brody Briggs, 2 balls in, no strikes.
Brody Briggs, another one of those players that's just gotten unlucky for the Harbor Hawks this year, but when he's found those hits, they have been crucial for the Hawks. He had a 3-run homer. He's had the single here tonight. He's finding good contact, and he's making good contact. It's just been unlucky a lot of the time.
On a 2-1 pitch, Briggs fights it foul off to the left. Jonathan Mendez and Cashel Duggar can only watch.
Nice catch there in the stands. Barehanded grab from our fans in a packed house here at McKeon Park tonight.
Nice Friday night. Fans enjoying a stroll on Main Street and they decide they want to watch a ball game. Reach for to third base. Jonathan Mendez backs up and throws across the diamond. Harbor Hawks cut the lead in half on the RBI triple from Jeff Luigi. Led to the top of the 5th inning with a 2-1 Orleans lead. Mason Russell back out for another inning of work after a nice and easy 1-2-3 inning. His first time out in relief of Tsubasa Tommy. He's going to face 8-9-1 up for Orleans. Kyle Johnson, Javar Williams, and Anthony Potestio. And Sam, this part of the order did the most damage last time up for Orleans.
Kyle Johnson for sure did a lot of damage with that double in the second inning, and it's going to be crucial for Mason Russell to get out ahead in these counts. We've seen time and time again the Firebirds have been patient. They've been taking pitchers deep, and that's why Tsubasa Tommy's pitch count got so high so quickly. But if Mason Russell is able to lock in, keep these at-bats to a few pitches, 4, even 3 hopefully, then that's going to be where he's able to take advantage, and that's going to be where he's able to push further into the game.
Well, Kyle Johnson, a rude welcome to his Hyannis debut for the Harbor Hawks, that is, with the double. That's his first game, first AB against Hyannis. He hasn't played in a while. His last time out was a defensive substitution against Katuitt on July 8th, so a couple days ago. Of course, a couple off days sprinkled in there. But facing the left-handed Russell for the first time. He's with the Chatham Anglers last summer. On the corner, 1-1. Well, Russell came into this appearance with an 8.31 earned run average in 4 1/3. And it's kind of been the story of the day, or the story of the last week and a half maybe. The walks have just been very high. A 6.2 walks per 9 for Russell. But it looked good in that first inning, and looking to continue that here, behind in the count 2-1. Like that. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And something that we haven't seen from this Harbor Hawks Firebirds matchup the entire year has been patience at the plate. Recently, it's been a lot of first, second, third inning runs. They've been jumping on pitches, but tonight, we're seeing a lot of patience. That's the 5th pitch of the at-bat, and Kyle Johnson has yet to take the bat off his shoulder.
And especially against Tsubasa Tommy, there's a lot of 6, 7, 8 pitch at-bats. Fouled off to the right, out of play.
Mason Russell, I love to see him continuing to pepper the zone, though, as he's keeping this walk count low for the Harbor Hawks tonight, just 2 allowed thus far.
On a 3-2 pitch, Johnson takes inside for ball 4. Looked pretty good, but not to Jim Fonseca behind the plate. That's the 3rd walk of the day for Hyannis pitching, first for Mason Russell. And hopefully not one of those here we go again moments for Mitch Carricker. Of course, still an opportunity to roll 2. As a favorable left-on-left matchup to Javar Williams. He picked up the RBI on that safety squeeze back in the second inning. Pretty big lead at first base. And the front door breaking ball catches the corner.
And so in that pregame interview, we heard General Manager Nick Johnson talking about how these relievers can be coming in and allowing those leadoff walks. It's leadoff walks that will kill your inning. And so it is crucial for Mason Russell to get that first out, hopefully get a ground ball in turn 2. We'll see if he's able to do so.
Williams showed bunt. I feel like the Harbor Hawks, I mean, I could be wrong, but I just feel like they haven't turned that many double plays this season. I don't know if that's just me or if that's true, or...
It's felt like it's been on the lower side for sure.
Get your face out of the way.
We're seeing a lot of bunts, especially in these Harbor Hawk games. Something that you don't see very often, especially in college baseball, is a lot of bunting, and especially for the Harbor Hawks, players, even like Andrew Williamson, power hitters, were showing bunt on the first and second pitches of the at-bat.
And that just shows you the selflessness of a team like the Harbor Hawks. He gets the bunt down, Russell spins and fires to first. Sacrifice is complete, another back check to second base, but Johnson's in safely. But to my point, you got prolific power hitters like Andrew Williamson willing to take one for the team and just lay a bunt down to try to move it, get things moving, play a little small ball. And you know, especially in the setting of summer when you're coming to work on your swing. That just says who these players are as teammates and people, Sam.
Dream players for these coaches who can fully trust them when they're at the plate. A lot of times you'll see coaches give a sign and you'll see a player just refuse to accept it. That's not the case with any of these Harbor Hawks players. You see them laying down bunts in big situations. You see them understanding that even though they're a power hitter, they have to help the team in some situations. And such an asset for Coach Carricker and this entire coaching staff that you have such a coachable team and players that are ready to listen and ready to work for the team and not just for themselves.
Anthony Potestio for the third time tonight here in the 5th inning. He's popped out on the infield both times, once to Ryan McKay at third, once to Jake Schaffner at short. He's going to have to go left on left for the first time this evening. 2-1 Orleans here in the top of the 5th. Back throw to second, and a nice stop by Schaffner. Brody Briggs showing some athleticism. It was a tough day on Tuesday against Bourne for Briggs. He did commit 3 throwing errors. That was just really a tough day for the Harbor Hawks all around.
Throughout the entire season, Brody Briggs has been backpicking players, and it's worked for him far too many times to stop. So that 3-error day, just unfortunate and unlucky, and something that he's looking to turn around as fast as possible. So I love to see him continuing to go after the back picks, continuing to show that confidence that is needed behind the plate.
Potestio teammates with Gabe Camacho at UC San Diego. And the 1-2 misses off the outside edge. Only 1 strikeout on the day so far through 4 1/3 for Hyannis pitching. That came back in the second inning, of course, Tsubasa Tommy then on the mound for Mitch Carricker. On a 2-2 pitch, Potestio takes ball 3.
And often when batters are being as disciplined as the Firebirds are tonight, you'll see less strikeouts because pitchers have to lock in for longer. It's difficult to hit those spots exactly where you want them when you're 7 or 8 pitches into an at-bat.
Payoff. Hit fell off to the left out of play. And this at-bat kind of a reminder of what the first couple innings was like for Tsubasa Tommy, considering these Orleans hitters are getting very deep into accounts. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat, and that's what's really forced the hand of the walks. It hasn't been like Hyannis has just given it to them, but they've been really working for him. 3-2 into the commit of Brody Briggs, and a big strikeout for Mason Russell, his first of the game.
And like you were saying, you love to see that 6 pitches into an at-bat, you're still able to lock in as a pitcher, get your pitch to go exactly where you want, and a big strikeout there for Mason Russell to get 2 outs on the night. Those walks are something that the Harbor Hawks have been working on, but it's those 4 pitch walks that they're working on. You can't really fault a pitcher for a 7-pitch walk. There, you just have to give credit to the batter and keep moving.
Luke Nixon takes one in the dirt. Nice stop by Briggs. And a lot of times we've talked in the booth about the uncompetitive misses. That one being an example. But outside of a pitch like that, we haven't seen that all too frequently tonight at least. But those types of pitches is what leads to those walks where you just kind of give it to them. On the hands and popped up on the left side of the infield. Long run for Brody Briggs. Discards the mask, and he's got no play. First row, and our baseball ops do not make the catch.
We're able to pick it up off the ground, but I feel like it's a little bit less entertaining and fun when you're just picking it up off the ground. Still, a good fight from Brody Briggs and Ryan McKay, who came flying in from third to try and make the play.
Way upstairs. And there's one of those misses that we've talked about. I mean, it probably slipped out of the hand, but a lot of the times there's different parts of the strike zone that guys just don't have a good feel for on any given night.
And that's the second pitch of this at-bat that really hasn't been a competitive miss. It's going to be really important for Mason Russell to lock in and finish out this inning strong. He's gone 1 2/3, looking really solid so far. And it'll just be such a satisfying feeling to close out 2 straight innings of hitless ball.
Nobody actively warming up in the Hyannis bullpen. There is a guy stretching. I promise he was just stretching. Like, right when the camera went on him, he just went completely still. Payoff. High drive right field. It's shallow. Sawyer Black. And it's the second baseman, Luigi, who makes a running catch. That will end the inning as the Orleans Firebirds strand one. We're halfway through. 2-1 Orleans. Hyannis coming up.
Owning a home means you can protect your family and put down roots in a community you care about. It gives you a place to celebrate the joys of daily living and be together during tough times. But for many on Cape Cod, home ownership is slipping further out of reach. Help make sure the American dream is available to the teachers, public safety professionals, and all the other people who make the Cape a special place. Visit capehousingmatters.org to find out more.
Hey Harbor Hawks fans, did you know the NAC Cape Cod is the official Light Up the Park sponsor of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks all season long? Thanks to the NAC, the lights at McKeon Park stay bright all summer as the future stars take the field. With 2 convenient locations in Orleans and Hyannis, the NAC is the perfect spot for a burger, taco, sandwich, and much more. Visit thenacapecod.com to learn more or order online. Bottom of the 5th inning here in Hyannis. Truman Pauly back out on the mound. Harbor Hawks, Sam, just looking to keep the momentum of that inning. That looks really good with the triple from Luigi.
For sure, and one man that needs to get that momentum back is Ray Velasquez. He's leading off in the 5th inning here, 0 for 15 in his past 15 at-bats. He needs something to go here.
Well, it's time for the Who's That Harbor Hawk answer. It's Jackson Olsen, so I was right as mentioned. I really only had 2 options. I know Jackson Olsen on the Bananas and Coach Rack, Robert Anthony, what's his last name? Cruz.
Couldn't tell you.
Ray Velasquez takes ball 1, and as Sam mentioned, looking to break a slump. His last hit was in June, an RBI double in the 1st inning against Falmouth at Gov Fuller Field. Front door breaking ball inside.
And it's been a quiet cold stretch for Ray Velasquez recently. Not a ton of loud strikeouts or, disappointing plays that just didn't go his way. Just a lot of ground outs and flyouts and a couple swinging strikeouts here and there.
Heading the count here, and he serves it off to the right, foul and out of play. Velasquez had 18 home runs in his first season at Austin Peay, a transfer from Vanderbilt. Outside for ball 3. Still no walks on the day issued by Firebirds pitching. They've gone pretty close a couple times. Good hitters count to Velasquez. 3-1 is golf to center field. Travar Williams strains it up for out number 1.
Good contact there from Velasquez, but disappointing to see that pitch a little bit down. He traded the walk for the fly out there. Still, good, solid contact and something that you want to see from a player that's been slumping like that.
Sawyer Black popped out to Elijah Iquez at shortstop back in the 3rd inning. 0 for 1, but coming off that home run back in the 5th inning on Wednesday at Gov Fuller Field. It was a 3-run shot with 2 outs. Some big insurance at the time for Hyannis because, of course, Falmouth at the time came back in the later innings, and the Hyannis squad exploded back in the 9th inning. He says it hit some. Jim Fonseca disagrees. They're going to bring the umpires together right here, but Sawyer Black immediately told the home plate umpire Fonseca that that got a piece of him. We'll see as they congregate.
And that was a quick reaction from Black, which makes you think it likely did hit him. Typically, when the ball doesn't actually hit you, players will think about faking it for a little while. Here, you see an immediate reaction from Black. Likely, it might have hit him in the toe, and we'll see what the umps decide.
And if you think from the hitter's perspective, they're not thinking if this pitch is close to my foot, as they're saying it didn't hit him. Well, as I was saying, a hitter's not going to be, planning. If he throws a back foot slider here, I'm not going to go, hey, that got me. So
many things to think about at the plate. That's just likely not one of them when you step up.
Sawyer Black looking for another chance. They're putting the bat back in the hands of a dangerous hitter. 3 home runs in 16 games for UNC this past spring. Of course, his time was limited after a handmade bone injury, same injury that cost Mike Trout over 89 games in the 2023 MLB season.
As a Mike Trout fan, that one hurt to watch. It did.
It was against my San Diego Padres as well.
Was it?
It was.
I just remember getting the notification and being disappointed.
Back in July 2023, July 5th.
Wow, you have that down to the date.
I have a photographic memory, so I remember
cool.
Random stuff like that.
That's cool.
One-two pitch coming up to Sawyer Black. Strike 3 called. He thought it hit him, and then he gets strike 3. A tough start to the inning for Hyannis. 2 up, 2 down. In the top of the order, Jake Schaffner coming up for the 3rd time tonight.
Frustrating at-bat there for Sawyer Black. Like you said, thought it hit him. Then next thing you know, you're going down looking. It's something that you're really going to have to shake off and focus on the next pitch always. And Jake Schaffner here, he's going to have to put a spark back in that offense. Only 2 hits for them in the past couple innings, and they're going to need to come back stronger.
Schaffner takes ball 1. Well, back-to-back teammates, Sawyer Black and Jake Schaffner. Of course, Black returning to UNC. Schaffner will be joining UNC for the first time this upcoming fall out of North Dakota State, and he goes around on a nasty breaking ball from Truman Pauly.
As a North Dakota State fan myself, I have to say that hurts to see, but Jake Schaffner, so much talent. He's going to do so well at UNC, and it'll be exciting to watch.
May I ask why you're a North Dakota State fan, Sam?
My family didn't have a college team.
Schaffner skies at the center. We'll finish that thought in the 6th inning. 2-1 Orleans. We'll head to the top of the 6th from McKeon Park.
Owning a home means you can protect your family and put down roots in a community you care about. It gives you a place to celebrate the joys of daily living and be together during tough times. But for many on Cape Cod, home ownership is slipping further out of reach. Help make sure the American dream is available to the teachers, public safety professionals, and all the other people who make the Cape a special place. Visit capehousingmatters.org to find out more.
Mason Russell back out on the mound after 2 very good innings for Mitch Carricker. He's going to face the heart of the order for Orleans. Elijah Iquez, Robbie Levy, Jonathan Mendez, and Cashel Duggar due up for the Firebirds. Hyannis still maintaining the momentum of that Luigi triple but they still trail 2-1. They're going to need a 1-2-3 inning here, Sam.
100%. They're going to need it, and they're going to need to get momentum back on their side. You felt it all kind of shift in the bottom of that 4th inning, but suddenly they found themselves still down a run at the end of the inning. And while the pitching's been good, the bats they've been cold in big moments so far tonight. So the Hawks going to need to be looking for a quick inning and get back on offense.
Iquez 0 for 1 with a walk. He drew that walk back in the 1st inning. It was a 10-pitch plate appearance against Tsubasa Tommy, but since then he grounded out to Ryan McKay back in the 3rd. Home run leader for the Firebirds with 3. Also facing Mason Russell for the first time tonight. Both times up were against the Hyannis starter Tommy. One and one.
And Russell so far tonight has shown a lot of confidence on the mound. He's been taking hitters deep, I should say, but still no hits on the night. Having a really good outing thus far, and he'll be looking to continue it with a 3rd straight inning of no-hit baseball.
Harbor Hawks out hitting Orleans 5-2. Of course, Orleans 2 runs in the 2nd inning, the difference in this game, as they cling on to that 2-1 lead here at McKeon. And Russell, another miss that's not all too close. 3 balls and a strike to the number 3 hitter Iquez. Looks like Tyler August is down in the bullpen throwing for Mitch Carricker.
And so likely Russell's last inning, but hopefully he can get through the entire thing. As there's a nice strike, it'll bring the count full, and this is going to be one of those big moments during the 6th inning where Mason Russell's going to have to prevail for the Harbor Hawks.
3 walks on the day for Hyannis. A big pitch coming up here. On a 3-2, Iquez grounds it to 3rd. McKay off his glove and into left field. Iquez around first. He's going to head for 2nd. Devin Mitchell cleans it out and fires it in wide. It's picked off by Jake Schaffner. We'll see the official scoring right there. That might honestly be a double. Definitely not an error on McKay. That was a hard play.
Strange hop as well for McKay, who went for the dive, and the ball went up while McKay was expecting it to go straight. Suddenly, Iquez finds himself at 2nd in striking position with no outs still on the inning.
So it is a double for Iquez and a favorable left-on-left matchup between Robbie Levy and Mason Russell. As we talked about a little bit earlier at the top of the show, Levy, when we met these Firebirds at Eldridge Park in Orleans on the 27th, he led the team with an 1,100 OPS. Then back on July 5th, that dipped down to the mid-700s. Now it's back up to the mid-850 range as he cues it foul off the end of the bat. It just goes to show you the ups and downs of a Cape League season. And that's in basically a half-season sample size of 20 games, Sam.
Yeah, the streaks are really streaky here on the Cape, if you'll forgive the lack of vocab there. We've seen it with a couple of players on the Harbor Hawks team as well, but when players are hot on the Cape, they are red hot, and when they get cold, they get ice cold. And here, it's just one of those situations for Levy where he's going to be working in and out, and in a long season like this one, you'll see that a couple of times.
Well, Levy was 3 for 3 on Wednesday against Wareham. He fights it foul off to the left and out of play. Back to a 2-strike count for Mason Russell, who picked up his first strikeout of his relief appearance back in the 5th inning against Anthony Potestio. Iquez the leadoff double. 2-2 upstairs. We've seen him miss upstairs with that breaking ball a couple times, Sam.
Yeah, and it started at the end of last inning, meaning you don't want it to be fatigue, but it could very possibly mean fatigue for Mason Russell. He's not used to going too long, and going into his 3rd inning, there he'll miss again upstairs. You don't want to see a player start to miss in the same place repeatedly.
Well, that's the 2nd walk of the day for Mason Russell, and 49 pitches in all. So as you mentioned, Sam, the pitch count is rising, and a really tough part of the order to face with 2 on and nobody out. You got Jonathan Mendes coming up, who already is a hit in this game, a single back in the 2nd inning. flew out to Sawyer Black in the 4th.
And the one positive is that the double play ball is back in order for Mason Russell, but he's going to need to deliver here against Jonathan Mendez.
First pitch on the outer half. And we've talked a lot, pretty much ad nauseum this season, about the importance of first pitch strikes, but it's so imperative to put yourself in the advantage count, because if you don't, it's almost as if you're digging yourself out of a hole every AB, and that's a tough position to put yourself in. Shows to bunt, pulls it back. That's way upstairs.
And even though this is a bunt situation, Mendez there almost catching the infield off guard for the Harbor Hawks. You saw all of them kind of jump around a little bit, unsure of where to go. Now they look much more confident in case he does it again.
He does do it again, and he fouls it off into the mid of Brody Briggs. Advantage count, Mason Russell. Now 52 pitches deep, 26 strikes for the Southpaw out of Arizona. Of course, U of A, that is, out there in Tucson. They had a very deep run in the college baseball playoffs. Ika's on second, Levy on first. Nobody out in the inning. On a 1-2, Mendez takes well up and away. And this is where the Harbor Hawks have to be careful, because they put themselves in the advantage count, but then it's those uncompetitive misses we've talked about.
Yeah, there have just been too many uncompetitive misses from Mason Russell in the past inning and a half, and they're going to come back to bite him, as here he finds himself still in the driver's seat, but with that miss there, which again wasn't even close to the zone, he's quickly finding himself in positions where he has to succeed or else he puts a runner on.
Two walks from Russell, 2 for Subasa Tommy. In danger of another one here. 3-2. Fouled off to the right out of play. We'll do it again at the full count. Left-handed hitting Cashel Duggar waits on deck, perhaps. Maybe the last potential hitter that Mitch Carricker would let him go for that matchup. We'll see if runners will move here on 3-2. They're not. And it's hit in the air, foul, first base way. Gabe Camacho, a long run over by the bullpen, and he overruns it. One of those high fly balls with backspin that just came back towards the infield. And new life for Jonathan Mendez.
And strangely there for Gabe Camacho, there is a small positive that comes with missing that fly ball. Obviously, you don't get the out, but the runners were likely to tag up on that type of play. And so here, Russell has the opportunity to strike out Mendez, keeping the runners in place and putting himself in an even better situation.
Payoff again is ball 4. That will load the bases with nobody out. And it looks like Mitch Carricker going to let him go. So as I thought, getting that good left-on-left matchup here with the bases juice. Ika's on third, Mendez on second. Or Levy on second, Mendez on first.
And we'll see if the Harbor Hawks make any adjustment to their field. It looks like they're playing with corners in, hoping to get that home to first double play ball here.
Good start to this AB with that strike on the outer half. Ryan McKay playing even with the cut at third base. Something to the hot corners you can imagine, as you mentioned, Sam, them coming home. Of course, if it comes back to Mason Russell, he'll be trying for that 1-2-3. On the hands and fisted to right center field. Charlie Bates makes the catch for out number 1. All runners will attempt to tag. The run comes in to score. A sac fly for Cashel Duggar and a 3-1 Orleans lead.
And so even though Orleans was able to get the run there, almost a win for Mason Russell as he was able to trade it for an out. That first out sometimes is the most important, and it'll close him out on a slightly more positive note as Coach Carricker looks to come out here.
Well, Tyler August looks to be ready and ready to go. We'll head to a short break and then talk about him in a moment.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
This week we've been working a lot with doing play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes stuff with sports broadcasting, which I never really realized how much went into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never really done like a program like this before, so like seeing all the behind-the-scenes has like really grown.
I've learned how to really just gain confidence in my play-by-play speaking, and I've learned more terms here when it comes to directing and producing, and I've just had a great time with John Rook.
Doing the play-by-play stuff and all that, being with a guy like John Rook, understanding what like the major kind of entails doing this camp, just really a preview for what you do here at Dean or any other college doing broadcasting, so I'm definitely more prepared to make this a job of mine.
Well, as mentioned, Tyler August coming into the game to relieve Mason Russell. 10 innings pitched on 5 games, a 5.4 ERA. How about a 10.8 strikeouts per 9, 0.8 home runs per 9, but the hits per 9 very high at 12.6. So he's had a strong start to the summer. It's about maintaining consistency and relieving Mason Russell.
That's right, and Mason Russell going out after 2 1/3. He allowed 1 hit, 3 walks, and 1 earned run, of course, pending runners on second and third as of right now. He showed a lot of promise in the first 2 innings, especially, but then that 3rd inning just started to fall apart a little bit, started to allow those walks, allow a double here, and then finally closes out with the sac fly, which was a little bit more positive, but just a tough 3rd inning for him.
And we keep coming back to it, Sam, but the walks starting to creep up on Hyannis. And I feel like especially as they try to climb out of that losing skid, they had the big win against Falmouth, but the last couple games when they were really struggling as a team, the walks have been proved costly against these Harbor Hawks, and already one being deposited in, or rather that was the double, but threatening 2 walks on 3rd and 2nd, and an opportunity here for Dawson Bryce, who walked himself.
And walks can single-handedly kill an entire team's momentum, mentality, and game, because there's really nothing for the fielders to do. It's just they're forced to watch as their teammate gives up free bases sometimes, and it's not always on the fault of the pitcher, but it's tough to watch as a teammate.
Infield is in for Hyannis. To the right, foul, out of play. Dawson Bryce looking to get something in the air. We've already seen some sacrifices in this game. Of course, the sacrifice squeeze bunt from Javar Williams in the 2nd and the sac fly back in the 6th inning right here. 1-1 and a good pitcher's count now for Tyler August.
Thus far, the Firebirds have been using small ball to their advantage, and they've been using it perfectly as they find themselves with a 2-run lead here. They've been patient at the plate. They've been drawing their walks even when they've had to fight for them. And as a result, they're in control of this game right now.
1-2. A big swing and a miss. We mentioned the strikeout numbers for August are very high, and he showcases that 1 batter in. Now 2 outs in the inning. Infield could move back outfield into no doubles defense.
And it would be a big win for the Harbor Hawks team right now if they're able to get out of this inning, just allowing 1 run. Remember, they had bases loaded, no outs. So if they can find a way to only allow 1 of those runs to score and go hit just down 2, that's a big win in their book.
Kyle Johnson, who had the RBI double, takes strike 1. He has not been retired by Hyannis yet. The double in the 2nd and then a walk in the 5th. The walk was against Mason Russell. The double against Tsubasa Tommy. Johnson has raised the OPS to 900 flat on the season. Of course, one of the late arrivals for Orleans. Didn't see him on June 27th against Hyannis, and he's behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Liberty Flame jumping ahead in August. For Liberty, August played his season at Delaware. He was a former Delaware State Player of the Year. 1-2 down low.
And that's one of those good misses that we were talking about, Max. That pitch, very competitive, a little low in the zone, but a solid pitch for a 1-2 count, and he's still in control of this at-bat.
Johnson hooks the 2-2 foul outside the third base line. Looks like the new arrival, Sam Garwell, went down to get the ball for the Harbor Hawks. 2-2 up and away, and 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Must-win pitch for Tyler August here as he looks to get this Harbor Hawks team out of a hole. Looking to close out this inning strong for them.
And that's ball 4. So in his second batter, August issues a walk. 6 in total today for Hyannis pitching.
And the walks, like you said, Max, starting to add up for this Harbor Hawks team. They had just 2 through 5, but suddenly they're allowing more and more, and this is where Orleans will be able to take control.
And Orleans still yet to walk a batter on their side, at least on the mound. Javar Williams still yet to register an official at bat. The sack bunt, and this gets away. Here comes Levy, and the wild pitch gives Orleans a 4-1 lead.
It's the free passes. Time and time again, it's the free passes. And there, Levy able to score. He didn't do a single thing that entire time that he was going around the bases. He walked, and then he moved around with the walks, and suddenly he's scoring on a wild pitch. Just something you can't let happen as a Hyannis team.
On the ground right side, Jeff Luigi charges and makes out number 3. A couple more runs for the Firebirds. Our own Ava Fernandez has a media package for you guys.
Ava Fernandez, and I'm alongside
Helen, Anton, Grace.
And you guys all do the camp with the Harbor Hawks. Who is your favorite player, and how has the camp been for you guys?
Jeff.
Jeff Luigi?
Yeah.
Why is he your favorite player?
Because he's like creative with games, and he makes every game fun when you learn something. Yeah. And like I just like it.
What about you?
My favorite player is Ryan because he always makes the games fun, and when we do something that helps us learn, it's always fun.
Yeah. What about you?
My favorite player was Jeff because he's always like getting involved in the wiffle ball games and having fun with us.
And you guys all want to play baseball, softball when you're older?
Yeah.
What position do you guys want to play? You don't know yet?
Maybe batter.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. You'll totally figure it out. And what is you guys' favorite part about playing in camp?
My favorite part is playing wiffle ball and pickle.
Pickle? That's so fun. What about you?
Wiffle ball.
Wiffle ball?
Yeah, I like playing wiffle ball.
Oh, so fun. All right, well, can we get a Go Hawks on 3 all together? Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Go Hawks!
Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Ava. Such an amazing opportunity for these kids and these fans to be able to learn from the best here on Cape Cod, and such a fun way to spend your summer.
Yeah, it must be always a fun opportunity to join Harbor Hawks camp. Fortunately, neither of us are old enough or are young enough for that.
Our producer, Daniel Bottolino, was a camper back in his younger years. Daniel, would you say it was a good experience?
Devin Mitchell making his Harbor Hawks debut, an incoming transfer to NC State, but this last year at JUCO at Florence Darlington Technical College. A .399 average, 12 home runs, 51 runs batted in, 56 runs scored, 17 stolen bases, and another right-handed bat for Mitch Carricker, and kind of a much-needed one at that.
Devin Mitchell's really going to have an opportunity to thrive here in Hyannis. Like you said, a right-handed bat in a lineup with not many. He's going to get his opportunities to succeed. This is his first one here, and it's going to be important for him to show this entire team just what he can do for this squad.
His last live AB, last game action, was back on May 30th. So it'll be an adjustment just to get back into consistent pitching, but you know he's got to be really excited to just get back out on the ball field.
It's always fun for these players to come back out during summer ball, and especially playing in Cape Cod. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and it's something that you're never going to forget as a player.
He hammers it to third, but it's outside the line. Mitchell came in for Jason Walk, who exited the game after striking out swinging in the third inning. And Mitchell comes in at left field, so Charlie Bates moves from left to center.
And we said it earlier, Max, but such an asset for Coach Carricker to be able to move players around like that. Charlie Bates especially, like we were saying, can play every position, but players like Ryan McKay also are able to play every infield position as well. And that's just something that Coach Carricker's going to be able to use and has used throughout this entire season.
Full count, followed straight back to the screen. We'll do it again. This will be the 7th pitch of this plate appearance. So he's seeing a lot of the Truman Poly Harvard Crimson on the mound. Launch to left. Robbie Levy going back, looking up. It is gone. How about that for your first Harbor Hawks home run? First Harbor Hawks AB. And Hyannis cuts the deficit in half. It's 4-2.
Well, how about turning on a pitch? Devin Mitchell faces the fastball and doesn't let it go past. A beautiful swing on it, sends it right over the wall in deep left field. Suddenly, he's back. The Hawks are back. They have the momentum, and Devin Mitchell, what a way to start your career in Hyannis.
Ryan McKay, the steady hand of consistency for Mitch Carricker. Still yet to record a hit tonight. But you can feel the Hyannis dugout kind of come back to life, especially after a tough inning. Into the right center, and that's a base hit for McKay. Ryan rounds first. He'll throw the brakes on. But the Harbor Hawks, the home run, and then the single. 96 miles an hour on the home run, 340 feet, launch angle at 23. It was a frozen rope.
Line drive home run for sure. And the Harbor Hawks suddenly have that momentum. Ryan McKay back on base, no outs still on the inning, and Gabe Camacho with a big opportunity as he represents the tying run.
Speaking of home runs, Camacho, this would be a good time for it. We've seen him, we've talked about it a lot. Batting practice for Camacho has been so impressive. It's like he's putting on a show. He's looking to get extended. And he fouls the first pitch off to the left, out of play. Camacho 1 for 2 tonight, a single back in the 4th inning. Average at 250 flat on the summer. He's really seen everyday playing time since the departure of Miles Bailey for Team USA at the end of June. Smoke to first, but that one's foul outside the line. There is action in the Orleans bullpen.
And it goes to show the pure power that this Hyannis team has, that they switched from metal bats to wood bats and yet continually put up big hits, hit homers like that. They still show their power and they still show their strength despite switching to wood bats.
In the air to left field, and that one's foul. Robbie Levy's got no play. Oh, 2 up and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and Camacho, he hasn't drawn all too many walks this season. He's just really swung early in at bats. And that's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It does not allow you to see as many pitches as you might want to see. But he takes upstairs 2-2.
2 good takes, especially from Camacho over these past 2 pitches. He swung at the first 3, which isn't something that you see too often from a player. But suddenly, he's narrowed his strike zone. He hasn't expanded it with 2 strikes on him. And suddenly, he's back even in the count.
On a 2-2 pitch, Camacho takes down the middle for strike 3. Strikeout number 3 of the relief appearance for Truman Pauly is out number 1 here in the last of the 6th inning.
And that's going to be a big strikeout for Truman Pauly, as it's the first out of the inning after a couple of big hits from the Harbor Hawks. He'll look to continue it with Jeff Lugie, but Lugie has been clutch recently.
Jeff Lugie, 3 for 3, dating back to Falmouth on Wednesday. A single in the 2nd, a triple for an RBI in the 4th here tonight. And that's outside for ball 1. Lucci's batting average raised to .313, OPS just shy of 800 for the Duke Blue Devil. In the dirt, and a delayed read for McKay. The throw down is in time. And another base running blunder for Hyannis.
Ryan McKay with a late read on the pitch. He had the right idea as the ball dropped right at the feet, but just too slow there as a very strong throw from Duggar gets him thrown out.
Just a little overzealous. There's a big swing through the 2-0.
And that's difficult to take as a Harbor Hawks player just because it's another base running blunder, but even more so, you had a bunch of momentum. You had a runner on first with 1 out. Suddenly, bases are empty and there are 2 outs, and as we get later into this game, every at-bat becomes more and more important.
Hyannis out-hitting Orleans 7-3, but they trail 4-2 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. On a 3-1 pitch, Luigi takes inside for ball 4. And that just magnifies the base running error even more.
A difficult pill to swallow for the Harbor Hawks team right here, as they would have runners on first and second with one of your hottest hitters coming up with only 1 out. But that's baseball for you sometimes. You got to focus on the next pitch, and Charlie Bates here still with an opportunity to bring this Harbor Hawks team back.
Bates to left center. That's in for a hit. Luigi will try to go first to third. He's going to test Robbie Levy, but the throw goes into second base. The Hawks with something brewing as the white-hot Charlie Bates strikes again.
Charlie Bates cannot be stopped recently. That man is on a tear. Over the past 7 days, he has an OBP just under, get this, 700. For those of you that don't understand baseball stats as well at home, an OBP just under 700 is beyond incredible. It's unheard of. And so Charlie Bates has found his groove. He's back, and he is showing off that talent every single night.
We'll have a new pitcher as Truman Pauly today is done. 4-2, Orleans the lead. We'll meet him on the other side of this break.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference.
Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself.
Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Back here at McKeon Park, Hawks got runners at the corners and 2 outs. The tying run on first base, and Orleans going to their #1 guy, Ethan Foley, a 2-0 record, ERA at 1.42. How about that whip? Below .8. And the last time out, he came in relief with a runner on first. He struck out the side on 14 pitches against Bourne. He's credited with the hold, and he's got the 2nd of the season. So he's got the 3rd lowest whip, 9th lowest ERA on the Cape. It's been pretty unbelievable and a tough task ahead of him.
A tough task for sure, and he's inheriting a couple of base runners in a tight situation here for the Firebirds. He'll be coming in for Truman Pauly. Pauly, a rough outing for sure. He went 1 2/3, allowing 2 hits, 1 earned run, and that home run, worth noting, it was Devin Mitchell's first at bat as a Harbor Hawk, and it was a homer that cleared the left field wall on a frozen rope. So a tough outing for him, but nonetheless, still able to get 3 Ks and still able to put something on his record that he can really be proud of.
Brody Briggs coming up for the 3rd time tonight. He's 1 for 2 with a single back in the 3rd inning. 2 Hawks looking to come home to the nest. Luigi on 3rd, Bates on 1st. Foley out of Cal. And he's ahead of the changeup. Pulled the string on the first pitch. Down in the dirt. And a good stop behind the plate by Cashel Duggar. Keeps the count level at 1. And Sam, Hyannis just got to build off this momentum, especially after that base running blunder. They're just looking for the big hit here.
And it's difficult to be in this situation without thinking about what could have been, but that's exactly what the Hawks have to do.
Briggs to right center. Williams on the run, but he's got to play to make the catch for the final out of the inning. Harbor Hawks grab 1 on the solo shot in the debut of Devin Mitchell. We'll head to the top of the 7th inning for McKeon Park.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Back here now in the top of the 7th inning. Tyler August back out for another inning of work. Of course, thanks out to Sam Montag for joining me for 3 innings. Now I'm joined by James Kluggish here in the broadcast booth at McKeon Park. And Tyler August going to face 8-9-1, or rather going to flip my scorebook. Top of the order, Anthony Potestio, 1-2-3 with Luke Nixon and Elijah Iquez to follow.
Yeah, I mean, the Firebirds today, they really have been doing well, 2-run lead, but Hyannis has really been strong here in the last couple of games, later in the games, fighting, scratching their way back into games, and hopefully tonight is no different, and they'll find a way to come out on top.
Harbor Hawks bats just kind of inching back and forth, and after an inning with the home run, James, it's going to be important for August to throw a quick 1-2-3 to get the bats back in the batter's box.
Yeah, August, one of your reliable pitchers here for Hyannis. You've seen him in the starter spot, coming in from relief tonight.
definitely he's seen some 1, 2, 3 innings tonight, and let's see if he can pull another one off tonight here.
So as mentioned, Potestio, top of the order, 0 for 3 with a punch out. Back in the 5th inning. We'll get his 4th look. First time seeing Tyler August, the Liberty Flame. Takes outside for ball 1. And now it jumps ahead. 2 balls and no strikes. Potestio didn't play against Hyannis on June 27th, but he was 1 for 4 with an RBI double on July 5th against these Harbor Hawks here at McKeon. 2-0 fastball down the middle.
Big strike there from August. Needed that one.
On a 2-1 pitch, Potestio takes a fastball away. Fastball looking lively for August, usually sits around the mid-90s. But Harbor Hawks, another 3-ball count. Already 6 walks through 6 innings of work for this Hyannis pitching staff. And a full count now. Payoff is a broken bat to second base. Jeff Luigi to his right, throws low, dug out by Camacho.
Yeah, great pick there by Camacho. Really tough bounce there, and he played it perfectly.
Camacho has been a very good scooper over the last couple days for Hyannis. These guys owe him dinner on the infield. As Luke Nixon comes out 0 for 3 from the number 2 spot of the order. Flew out to center in the 1st, grounded out to Camacho in the 3rd, and then flew out in right field down the line to Jeff Luigi, the second baseman, ranging to end the 5th inning. As mentioned, Hyannis out-hitting Orleans, but now over double. 8 hits for Hyannis, 3 for Orleans. And a chopper into the Orleans dugout, and a nice play.
Yeah, one-handed grab there. Had a jump. What a play.
That looks like Cashel Duggar. He's got the leg guards on. The backstop for the Firebirds. 0-2 is upstairs. It was one of those uncompetitive misses we've talked about.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, Hyannis, it seems all year they've gotten ahead in these counts and then just, a couple balls later and it's a full count.
1-2 just misses downstairs. Jim Fonseca didn't like it. Luke Nixon, a rising junior at NC State, so he'll be teammates with Devin Mitchell, who just hit a home run in his first Cape League plate appearance for the Harbor Hawks. 2-2, blew it by him, strike 3. Big strikeout for Tyler August. The 2nd of his relief appearance.
Yeah, here we go. Big at-bat here. Trying to get this 1-2-3 inning. Get the bats back up and see if he can throw some runs up in the bottom half of the inning.
Elijah Iquez, who doubled and scored a run back in his last time up, takes upstairs. Iquez, one of many Hawaii Rainbow Warriors that we've seen on the Cape. As we mentioned earlier, it just seems like it's one of those teams that's got a lot of guys playing here on Cape Cod. And he's ahead in the count 2-0. Tyler August going for the bag of rosin to get a better grip of the baseball.
Yeah, started the last at bat 0-2, now 2-0 here.
Inside for ball 3. That one almost got a piece of Iquez. Orleans has left 5 on base today. Hyannis 6. Last time that these two teams met, Hyannis went 2 for 14 with runners in scoring position. Orleans 6 for 16 as that misses upstairs. Walk number 7 of the day for Harbor Hawks pitching extends the inning in the 7th.
Yeah, certainly not what you want to see with 2 outs there for August. 4-pitch walk, didn't really seem competitive at all, but now here with your 4 spot for Orleans, hoping to find this 3rd out.
Robbie Levy, who drew one of those walks back in the 6th inning, getting his 4th plate appearance today. Only 2 at-bats. Each time he's recorded an out, he's grounded out to Jeff Luigi at second base. 4-2 Orleans here in the top of the 7th inning. Tyler August looking to get the bats back in the dugout. Runner goes at first. The pitch, a ball to throw down to second. Absolutely. Brody Briggs with ice in his veins ends the inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th inning. 4-2 Orleans.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And CAM Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. CAM Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
Back here in the bottom of the 7th inning, 4-2 Orleans. Let's take you around the league and look at tonight's action. A 8-inning Falmouth win against Cotuit, 7-6. Brewster and a 7-inning win, 10-5. Harwich and Chatham in the 5th inning. Chatham leads 9-3. Bourne and Wareham tied in the 7th inning. I guess, is it a fog day, guys?
Must be.
Luckily, so far, knock on wood, we've avoided some fog from the Hyannis Harbor.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad out there. You can still see pretty much every single tree, out in the outfield. Sometimes when the fog slowly creeps in, some of those start getting out of view, but still completely clear here. Yeah, Falmouth beats Cotuit. That's an interesting one. Cotuit getting really hot recently. Falmouth, fighting for that top spot in the West. That was a very close game.
Harbor Hawks will see the Cotuit Kettleers on Sunday in Cotuit. Looking for redemption because last time those two teams played, Cotuit run-ruled them here at home at McKeon Park. Ray Velasquez looking to snap an 0 for 15. He fights it foul by the Orleans dugout. Hyannis, it seems like, James, in that last inning, if that McKay kind of base running blunder didn't happen, they could have gotten some more runs. So they're going to try to play off the momentum of it. And despite the walk for August, a pretty quick inning to get him back in the batter's box. Velasquez strikes out.
Yeah, with the home run there. And then, all of those base runners, momentum definitely with Hyannis here as Velasquez continues to struggle here.
First strikeout of the day for Foley on the hill. Sawyer Black, who had a frustrating AB in the 5th that resulted in a strikeout looking, getting up for the 3rd time tonight. Cracks it to shortstop. Elijah Iquez waits on it, now fires to first in time. Two very quick outs here in the 7th, and that will turn the order over for the 4th time tonight. And Jake Schaffner coming up to the plate for Mitch Carricker.
Yeah, Jake, a double in the 3rd here, trying to just get something going with 2 outs here in the 7th.
Up and away on the outside corner. Schaffner looking for some more slug in his swing. As I mentioned, I was able to catch up with him. You guys can tune into the new episode of Highlight a Hawk on the Hawks Instagram. It'll be on YouTube shortly as well. Great kid. Looking to just expand his power game at the plate. Shows the bunt, and it's a good one. So he doesn't try to do it there, but it doesn't matter. A 2-out single for Schaffner. And the inning continues. That brings a tying run to the plate. And the white hot after 1AB, Devin Mitchell.
Textbook bunt there for Jake Schaffner. I mean, he's the leadoff guy for a reason. He has the legs, he has the speed, and right there, I mean, didn't even need that much speed because it was just such a perfect bunt right to a place where nobody on the defense was that close to getting to it.
Mitchell takes a ball upstairs. So his first AB of the summer in the Cape, on the Cape, excuse me, a home run to left field. One-0 inside. Of course, a community college transfer this upcoming fall. He was at Florence Darlington Technical College. And that just shows you there's a lot of diamond in the roughs at JUCO. Nothing to be frowned upon. A lot of talent all around. You talk about a guy like Tsubasa Tommy, who's going to be transferring to Hawaii. 2-0 up and away. 3 balls in, no strikes to Devin Mitchell.
Yeah, it definitely did not take long to switch from the metal bat to the wooden bat. You know, you usually see a little decrease in power, but, you know, just crushing a home run in his first at-bat with the wooden bat.
Takes on 3-0, and there's a fastball in there. Speed on first base in Jake Schaffner here in the last of the 7th. Tap foul at the plate. The count will run full, and Schaffner will be on the move. Hyannis 9 hits, 2 runs. Orleans 4 runs on 3 hits. Schaffner will run on the payoff pitch. Mitchell strikes out swinging. Harbor Hawks leave 1 on base. It's getting late. We'll head to the top of the 8th inning. 4-2 Orleans.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the rental source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
When I started teaching on the Cape 30 years ago, you could buy a house on a teacher's salary. But today, teachers, public safety officers, healthcare and hospitality workers, the people who make the Cape work, are struggling to find homes they can afford. And I really worry about the kids who will follow us. I think it's time we learn to do better.
If housing on Cape Cod matters to you, join us at capehousingmatters.org.
Top of the 8th inning here at McKeon Park. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Harbor Hawks as we are right in the middle of the summer. They're out versus Wareham tomorrow here at McKeon Park, and then as I mentioned, they're going to be at Cotuit on Sunday. An off day on Monday. They face the YD Red Sox back here at home on Tuesday, back out to Bourne on Wednesday, and then Chatham on Thursday. So back-to-back on the road trip, and then you got the nice 2-game All-Star break to reset. It's going to be an important stretch, James, for the Harbor Hawks to just keep the lead of the West and just keep playing good baseball.
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely been struggling recently, and they've not really found a way to string wins together, right? They've had wins here and there, but these 2 wins in a row are so crucial in a 40-game season. So for a game like this and then the games coming up, maybe to string a couple together, get a little win streak going would be huge here for Hyannis.
Robbie Levy up for the 4th time tonight. He was up when Elijah Iquez was caught stealing by Brody Briggs. Levy was 3 for 3 on Wednesday against Wareham. And he serves it off to the left foul. Now to play. A ball and 2 strikes to the rising junior at George Washington. The Revolutionaries.
Yeah, recently changed their mascot.
In there for strike 3.
Big start there for August. Looking for another 1-2-3 inning here. Trying to give this Hyannis offense a chance to come back and hopefully steal a win here from Orleans.
The 3rd strikeout of the day for the Harbor Hawks. Jonathan Mendez digs in from the right side. Singled all the way back in the 2nd inning. Since then, he's flown out to right field and walked. Gets a strike and is down in the count 0-1. Mendez did not play the last time these two teams met on July 5th, but he did start the game at shortstop against Hyannis back on June 27th. Tonight he's at 3rd base for Kelly Nicholson.
August again finding a way to get ahead in the count. 0-2 here.
1-2 is off to the right foul and out of play. Seven walks for Hyannis pitching, and a lot of them have been costly tonight. 1-2, fouled straight back. The last time these two teams met, Orleans scored 7 unanswered runs to tie the score at 8 and a 10-inning tie. While the pitching was kind of the issue for Hyannis, the bats did fall cold. They went 2 for 14 with runners in scoring position. That's a 143 average. Tonight, they have hit a lot, just not with runners on. Foul tip into the catcher's mitt. Back-to-back strikeouts for Tyler August.
Yeah, nobody warming up in Hyannis' bullpen right now, and after these 2 strikeouts, I mean, why get anyone up and moving? Because August is on fire.
Cashel Duggar, who picked up an RBI on a sac fly back in the 6th inning, takes strike 1. One down in the dirt. A ball and a strike to Duggar. Duggar was 0 for 1 with a walk in the loss to Wareham on Wednesday. And he checks his swing and jumps ahead 2 balls and a strike. With that walk, he improved an on-base streak to 9 games. Still looking to extend that here tonight. Of course, didn't reach with that sac fly. Struck out and flew out before that. And he hits one in the air to left field. Devin Mitchell has no plays. It's in front of him.
Just as you were talking about it, there's the on-base streak that continues there for Duggar.
And Dawson Bryce getting another look at these Hyannis arms. Rising junior at Charlotte. As mentioned, we've seen Michael O'Shaughnessy in both of the games against Hyannis, but he replaced O'Shaughnessy at first in his lone at-bat last time against Wareham on Wednesday. He hit an inside-the-park home run, and it's skied to right field. Sawyer Black coming in and over to make the catch. Went to the bottom of the 8th inning, 4-2 Orleans. The Harbor Hawks have 6 outs to work with here at McKeon Park. And it's getting late as Ryan McKay will lead it off. It's the heart of the order for Mitch Carricker. 3, 4, 5, McKay, Camacho, Luigi. Charlie Bates a chance if anybody gets on base. And McKay, who singled his last time up in the 6th, looking for redemption after trying to advance on a wild pitch that he was ended up caught by the catcher's Cashel Duggar. Foley back out on the mound for Orleans. He is draft eligible, and he's off to an amazing start this summer. A 1.42 ERA entering this game. And after that inning of work, he has lowered it to 1.29. But a guy who can get a hit off a good pitcher as anyone, Ryan McKay, the Michigan State Spartan.
McKay also holds plenty of power. We've seen him just crush it out of the park before.
Especially today. We talked about it earlier at the top of the show. His batting practice was impressive. Greeted with a strike from Ethan Foley. The average to McKay at 352. Takes down low.
Yeah, as the season has progressed, McKay really has been, he's been pretty reliable all season. I mean, there never was a stretch where, you know, you thought he, no play there on the foul ball. But like I was saying, McKay really has been reliable all season. Not a game where I wasn't concerned, or I wasn't confident he would be able to get on.
I think it's safe to say that he's been Hyannis' most consistent batter this season. I mean, he leads the team in hits, average, day one guy. Chops it to first, and it's foul. He started day one against Wareham on June 14th, and he's really been pretty much in there all season long for Mitch Carricker. Always got a smile on his face as well.
Yeah, with an ever-changing lineup as it is in the Cape League, I mean, it's great to see a guy like McKay who seems to always be in there.
Center fielder Williams shaded towards left center, so lots of green grass in right center. Poked to left, and that one's foul and out of play once again. And McKay doing his job in this turn, in the sense of seeing a lot of pitches, so he's going to be able to report back to the team what he's seeing. That was the 5th pitch of that plate appearance.
Yeah, it's great to see how many of these Hawks are reporting back to the dugout on what kind of pitches they're seeing. I mean, we saw it with Williamson when he was here, and McKay does it as well. Willits, who is not playing tonight, he is a big guy in reporting back, so great to see.
In the air to left field, Robbie Levy with room for out number 1. So Gabe Camacho coming up for the 4th time tonight. He singled back in the 4th inning.
Camacho came in partway through the season and started out red hot for the Hawks. Cooled off a tiny bit, but still he's just been very reliable for an easy base hit.
He was 1 for 4 on Wednesday with a walk and a stolen base against Falmouth. And he swings through the 0-1.
Another 0-2 count. Just right now just trying to fight back, you know, trying to stay alive in the 8th inning here.
Upstairs for ball 1. Skips into the dirt, and that one got a piece of Camacho. It hit the ground first and then came up and hit him in the jersey.
Yeah, kind of an interesting like look there as it skipped way outside. You know, looked like a wild pitch, but it did in fact hit his foot before it, you know, missed the catcher there.
Jeff Luigi, who has been hot at the plate, swings through the first pitch. He has not been retired in his last 4 plate appearances going back to Wednesday against Falmouth. He had that big 2-run single in the 9th inning. He singled in the 2nd tonight, an RBI triple in the 4th, and then a walk in the 6th. OPS now north of 809.
Yeah, you want to talk about guys coming in here and just starting off wicked hot. I mean, you look at Mitchell. Ooh.
And he rips it to left. And he continues that, James.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying Mitchell hit his home run in the first at-bat. You got Jeff, who just got his 5th hit in a row, and then Camacho, who hit before, who just got on base as well.
Cashel Duggar will head out to talk to Ethan Foley. That ERA of 1.29 in peril now with the tying run on first base. Go-ahead run at the plate in Charlie Bates.
Yeah, big spot here for Charlie Bates, who a couple of days ago might not have been super excited for this at-bat, but since he's been able to get back into the right headspace, really find a way to get on base, I'm sure he is ecstatic to get this one started.
And out comes Kelly Nicholson. Perhaps that mound visit just to give extra time to the guy in the bullpen. We'll see. Maybe this is just a coaching moment, scouting report, or this could be the day, but this is his most trusted reliever. Came in with 12 2/3 innings, a 1.42 ERA. His ERA now at 1.29. But it doesn't look like he's taken the baseball yet.
Yeah, I think it's more of a, we're up. We have, we just need to get through this inning. Just focus on the next bat, one at-bat at a time, one pitch at a time almost. Oh, as now he will take his stroll to the dugout.
We'll meet the new pitcher on the other side of this break. Well, the new pitcher is inheriting a tough situation. 2 on and 1 out. It's Steele Murdoch, a 2.35 earned run average in 7 2/3 innings on the Cape. And last time out, he closed out a 2-2 tie into Katuitt. 2 loud hit fly balls and a strikeout, but no hits, no runs, and no walks. And you go from your most trusted reliever to number 2 on the list. It's going to be tough for these Hyannis bats, James, to get this going, but they have the momentum with 2 on. The pressure's on. It's all about execution.
Yeah, it's one swing at a time, really. Just getting on base, passing the torch to the next guy, keeping it simple. It's really the best way that they're going to find a way back in this game.
Well, it's Charlie Bates who's going to come up to the plate, and as we mentioned right before the break, it just kind of shows the ups and downs of a summer. A week and a half ago, if you're Mitch Carricker, you're not excited that Charlie Bates is the guy at the plate when this situation is. But now, if you're a Hyannis fan and Mitch Carricker, you're really excited because he's red hot. Bates hits in his last 4 games. Ever since that triple against Brewster on Sunday, been a different animal. I said it against the Elmeth. He got his swagger back.
I will say props to Mitch that he never doubted Charlie when he was down in his slump. I mean, Charlie was in the lineup almost every single day in that time. Carricker just trying to get him back to his normal self, which he clearly has succeeded in.
Gabe Camacho at second, Jeff Luigi on first. He represents the tying run here in the last of the 8th inning. Bates takes a fastball outside. Steele Murdoch on the hill, a teammate of Gabe Camacho at UCSD. He's a rising sophomore there. Camacho now a rising junior for the Tritons. On a 1-0 pitch, Bates launches to left. Levy on the run. He will get there into the gap and fire it into second base. A hard hit out number 2.
Yeah, I mean, nearly overran it there. Maybe had to reach back a little. Great swing by Bates, just couldn't find the open grass.
Brody Briggs, who had a deep fly out to right center field with 2 on base, looking for some redemption. He's also caught a runner stealing this game on the other side of the ball. Looking for that big hit. Should be a good time for his second home run. Of course, his first home run coming against these Firebirds on July 5th on Saturday. It was a 3-run shot and a potential 3-run shot here with 2 on base. Briggs smokes it to the third, and Jonathan Mendez will step on the bag. If the Harbor Hawks win this game, it will have to be a walk-off. We'll head to the top of the 9th inning, 4-2 Orleans.
Owning a home means you can protect your family and put down roots in a community you care about. It gives you a place to celebrate the joys of daily living and be together during tough times. But for many on Cape Cod, home ownership is slipping further out of reach. Help make sure the American dream is available to the teachers, public safety professionals, and all the other people who make the Cape a special place. Visit capehousingmatters.org to find out more.
Tyler August back out there once again. He's 2 2/3 deep. He's looking for a hold right here, trying to keep the score exactly where it is and keep Hyannis back in the batter's box. Harbor Hawks down 4-2 here in the top of the 9th inning. And Hyannis out hitting Orleans 10-4. But the Harbor Hawks just looking for that big hit with runners in scoring position. It hasn't really happened tonight.
Yeah, August has been great tonight, you know, and the thing he's been really good at is getting ahead in counts. You know, the all-important first strike, second strike, and he's really succeeded on that tonight, and which is why he's done extremely well on the mound.
Well, Hyannis 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Orleans 1 for 6. Harbor Hawks have left 8 on base. Orleans 6. So Hyannis, they've been getting a lot of guys on base via the hits. I mean, they're literally double in the hits category, +2 with 10. But that is a story for another time. Right now, August's concern is the bottom of the order, 8-9-1 for Kelly Nicholson, Kyle Johnson, Javar Williams, and Anthony Potestio at the top. Johnson has not been retired yet tonight. An RBI double back in the 2nd inning, and then a walk in the 5th and 6th inning. 2 of 7 walks for this Hyannis pitching staff tonight. 1-0, fouled back to the screen.
Yeah, definitely the walk struggle continues here for the pitching staff. You know, striking out people definitely, but like we've been saying, I mean, the walks have just been killing them the last couple of weeks.
Inside corner, but it's too far in. 2-1. August came in with a 5.4 ERA. He's lowered it to 4.26. 2-1 fastball on the black. The starter, Tsubasa Tommy, went 3 innings on 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, and 1 punch-out. In the air to right field, Sawyer Black to the warning track. He reaches up and makes the catch at the wall.
Yeah, what a catch. I mean, definitely harder than it looks, having to reach up and track that one down while you're running backwards at a wall. So, great catch there by Black.
Javar Williams, who has only recorded 1 AB today. He had that squeeze bunt back in the 2nd inning where he picked up an RBI, and then a normal sacrifice 1-3 bunt in the 5th inning. He grounded out to Luigi in the 6th. As I mentioned, we've seen him now in all 3 games against these Firebirds, but he didn't start in any of the first 2 games. Came in as a pinch hitter, but got the start today for Kelly Nicholson. Count even at 1-1. 4-2 Orleans here in the top of the 9th. Hyannis is going to look to walk this one off. On a 1-1 pitch, Williams shows the bunt. He gets it down, and it's a foul ball fielded by Briggs outside the 3rd base line.
Yeah, I mean, knowing how August is pitching, you know, the bunt, just trying to get something going here. Maybe throwing an insurance run for Orleans.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. This broadcast is a copyrighted production of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Any unauthorized duplication, retransmission, or other use is strictly prohibited. That's 5 strikeouts now for Tyler August. Ball 1 outside to the top of the order, Anthony Potestio for the 5th time tonight. Potestio, a strikeout back in the 5th inning, an 0 for 4 day. And he fouls one off to the left.
Yeah, what a performance here by August. 5 strikeouts, you know, very few base runners, and it's been a great performance. Great to see this pitching staff, you know, in the later innings succeed.
August looking for back-to-back Ks, potentially 6 in all. On a 1-2, Potestio lines it to shortstop on a high hop for Jake Schaffner. The throw is low and it gets away. Potestio on his way to 2nd base as Brody Briggs grabs the errant throw. And an E6 continues the 9th inning.
I mean, that was just unfortunate. I mean, it was a really, really tough, you know, fielding play by Schaffner, and then just a bad throw over to first. And this is really what we've seen in this slump. It really started with these fielding errors, you know, the throws to first, the, you know, easy pop flies, which has really resulted in, and then the walks obviously have resulted in these losses.
Luke Nixon takes a ball 0 for 4 from the number 2 spot. How about the 1st and 2nd hitters for Orleans? Now a combined 0 for 9. Of course, Potestio reaching on an E6, so not a hit. Outside for ball 2.
Yeah, this is when August really has to strap in and, you know, find his way. Because you were pretty much out of the inning there with the grounder.
2-0 is hammered to right. Sawyer Black looking up. It is gone. The dagger for Luke Nixon and Orleans. And a 6-2 Firebirds lead.
Yeah, no time for August to get lazy, you know, and he definitely did, and that thing was smoked.
So Elijah Iquez now with a 4-run Orleans lead, the largest lead of the game. 2 was the biggest. Now they doubled that to 4. Just shows you how magnified that error was now.
Yeah, huge error. And it's unfortunate because August has had such a great performance. And just just one pitch is really put this game almost out of reach for Hyannis.
Well, only 1 earned run on the home run. In the air to right center field, that's going to split the gap and roll all the way to the wall. Iquez around first. He's pedaling for second. The throw in from Charlie Bates will come late. And the hits just keep coming for Orleans.
Yeah, August maybe a little rattled here, maybe a little tired. Briggs will come out and talk to him, tell him to settle down. 1 out, just go back to your fundamentals and really just relax here, because the more you stress out, the more things just become a mess. So relax and play your game.
Nobody actively warming up in the Hyannis bullpen. This is Tyler August's game to finish. He's 64 pitches deep on 37 strikes, just the 1 earned run. And it's a pinch hitter, Michael Crossland, coming in for Robbie Levy. Levy had been 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout. And Crossland takes upstairs. We saw Crossland in each of the first 2 games against these 2 players, against these 2 teams. Fastball away, 2 balls and no strikes. August looking to just get it back in the dugout now. Keep the damage where it is. And here, foul off to the right out of play.
Yeah, I mean, you got those first 2 outs pretty quickly. And then after the error, the home run and the double really kind of sliding downhill after that.
Crossland, another UCSD guy, teammates with Camacho.
I mean, it is really great to see how many schools are represented in the Cape League, and these guys getting to play together and then playing against their teammates back at home.
3-1 is in the air to center field. Charlie Bates squares it up and ends the inning. A costly error for Hyannis makes it a 6-2 lead for Orleans. Harbor Hawks looking to come back in this one.
At the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
This week we've been working a lot with doing play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes stuff with sports broadcasting, which I never really realized how much went into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never really done a program like this before, so seeing all the behind-the-scenes, so really grown.
I've learned how to really just gain confidence in my play-by-play speaking, and I've learned more terms here when it comes to directing and producing. And I've just had a great time with John Rook.
Doing the play-by-play stuff and all that, being with a guy like John Rook, understanding what the major kind of entails doing this camp, just really a preview for what you do here at Dean or any other college doing broadcasting. So I'm definitely more prepared to make this a job of mine.
Well, the Harbor Hawks have their work cut out for them now. A 6-2 deficit in the last of the 9th inning. Make sure you all stay tuned for the live Hawk Talk that we have tuned up for you after final out, but the Harbor Hawks are going to look to walk it off before then, and they got the bottom of the order. Ray Velasquez to lead it off. It'll be 8-9-1 with Velasquez black, but it looks like a pinch hitter, and that looks like Stone Lawless going to be coming out for Hyannis, and Lawless has been really good for the Harbor Hawks, average over 300 so far this season.
Yeah, good to see that Carricker's not going to go down without a fight here. Throw Lawless in, see what he can do. Then you got Black, who, really has been a reliable hitter. Not necessarily tonight, but in games past, he's definitely been good. And then Schaffner, of course, who after coming back from injury has been quite good for Hyannis.
Stone Lawless was 2 for 5 with the double against Falmouth on Wednesday. That snapped an 0 for 7 skid for the Tennessee Volunteer. First pitch from Murdoch upstairs, ball 1. Ball 2. And you figure, James, given the situation, he might be seeing a take sign right here, 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, really anything to get someone on base, in any kind of fashion.
He's swinging, and he pokes it to the right side. Luke Nixon ranging to his left for out number 1.
Yeah, unlucky there. Soft, very soft hit ball to second base. Not gonna do it for Lawless.
Sawyer Black now here with 1 out in the 9th inning. Of course, not the best start for Hyannis, but they are still in slam range. So given that situation, this game could be tied with one single swing of the bat. Sawyer Black checked his swing, but he went around. Martin Hassenhaas rung him up.
That would be incredible to see, but Hyannis has a lot of work to do to get there. So let's see what Black can do here as he goes down 0-2.
0-2 deficit. At the top of the order, Jake Schaffner looming on deck. He fouls it into the mitt of Cashel Duggar, strike 3.
Yeah, Murdoch certainly has been great so far. Just shoving it in.
Jake Schaffner looking for redemption after that error.
Yeah, he'll try to stay hot. 2 for 2 tonight.
Crack to the right side. That'll find its way through. Schaffner picks up his 3rd hit of the day.
Yeah, I mean, he just finds a way to get on. And with his speed, he's a stealing threat as well. So good, 2 outs here, but you never know. And a good start for Schaffner.
Devin Mitchell for the 3rd time since coming in for Jason Walk defensively. That one way down in the dirt. A nice pick on the backhand by Duggar behind the plate. Mitchell homered in his first at-bat on Cape Cod back in the 6th inning. It was an electric start, to say the very least. In the air to left field on a broken bat. This one's shallow. Levy won't get there.
Yeah, what a way there. Just pass the torch. That's all it takes. Just get the next guy up. Just get on base somehow, and that's exactly what Mitchell did there.
It's actually Crossland at left field. My apologies. Again, remaining in the game at left field since pitch hitting for Robbie Levy is Crossland. Tying run is on deck in Gabe Camacho. Ryan McKay at the plate. And a big swing from McKay, 1-1.
Yeah, McKay, I think, needs to shorten up here a little bit. Just take that pass the torch mentality to it. Just find a way to get on base, however you can.
Cued off the end of the bat to third. It stays fair. And Jonathan Mendes steps on the bag to end the game. Harbor Hawks dropped this one to Orleans 6-2. 2 runs on 12 hits, but Orleans 6 runs on just 6 hits. Stay tuned for live Hawk Talk, as I'll be joined in the booth by our producer turned broadcast partner, Sam Montag.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Back here at McKeon Park for Hawk Talk, the Firebirds defeat the Harbor Hawks 12-6 or 6-2, excuse me. But the Harbor Hawks out-hit Orleans 12-6. Max Schwartzberg joined alongside Sam Montag here in the broadcast booth. Sam, it was a game that Hyannis just really couldn't seem to get it going offensively. They had a couple big swings in there, but ultimately they fell short to Orleans.
Yeah, it was a difficult game for the Harbor Hawks. They had their hits occasionally, but they just didn't come at the right time. And then they had a couple of blunders while pitching and a few errors, and it all just added up to cost them the game.
And you mentioned pitching, Sam. I know we sound like broken records, but it was the free passes once again today that proved to be very costly. A couple wild pitches in there, but a lot of walks in there. 7 walks on the day, and again, Sam, they proved to be pretty costly.
Yeah, we've heard Coach Carricker say time and time again that these unforced errors are costing the Harbor Hawks these games, and we've seen it once again tonight. A couple of good starts from each pitcher, but later in their innings, later in their outings, we saw a lot of walks, a lot of errors, and that's what really built up to give the Firebirds the win tonight.
And just to put it into perspective for you guys, both teams had only 1 hit with runners in scoring position, but of course Orleans 6 runs, Hyannis 2 runs. So the free pass, of course, in the 9th inning, very costly on that error by Jake Schaffner. But because of those walks and only 1 hit with runners in scoring position, Orleans was able to get the better of the scoreboard against Hyannis. And that's just something that we keep coming back to that's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, the hits for the Firebirds just came at the right time, and that's one of those things that you can't judge, you can't control. It's just baseball sometimes. So a couple of really good hits from the Harbor Hawks tonight. One of those was Devin Mitchell, first at bat on the Cape, and he was able to put it outside the yard. So good hits from the Harbor Hawks, but they came at the wrong time, and base running blunders like Ryan McKay caught stealing just cost them. So in the end, the Firebirds were able to come away with it because they played smarter baseball at the right time.
And of course, a disappointing loss, but let's take it to a little bit of a positive note. Of course, you know, you never want to come out on this side of the scorebook, but I think something that we've talked about a lot recently is the Harbor Hawks' ability to, at least on the pitching side, come back and throw a 1-2-3 inning after a hot offensive inning. A couple times tonight, the Harbor Hawks pitching, maybe there's a walk thrown in there. They largely were successful in getting the bats back in the lineup, and of course vice versa for the bats trying to get back when the pitching is doing so well. I think that's something that while you did lose this game, you could take that as a positive, and you want to use that moving forward, Sam.
Yeah, especially for pitchers like Tyler August and Mason Russell. We saw them repeatedly go out, each of them going 3 innings and really putting themselves out there completely. They were a good force for this Harbor Hawk team, and they brought the momentum back time and time again. But then once we got back to offense, it was little mistakes here and there that ended up costing the Harbor Hawks. And when both pitchers ended up faltering just a little bit in those final innings, that was what ended up costing them the game.
And let's break down a little bit of the pitching for Hyannis. You had Tsubasa Tommy starting the game, Mason Russell, Tyler August ending it off. Tommy, a pretty good start, but I think, when the walks were there, he walked 2 on the day. It was largely because the Firebirds bats really made him work. There was a couple 10-pitch at-bats there in the first and second inning where he wasn't having those uncompetitive misses that we've talked about so much this season, but they just really showed how pesky hitters can get the better of your pitchers.
Well, the Firebirds came out with a completely different game plan than we've ever seen tonight. These teams have now faced off 3 times, and tonight the Firebirds brought a plate discipline that we have yet to have seen. Recently, we've seen a lot of big run games, 8-11, 8-8, all of those runs scored in the first few innings. But tonight, suddenly these Firebirds were taking pitches. They were taking 7, 8 pitch at-bats, and Tsubasa Tommy suddenly had thrown 60 pitches in just the second or third inning. That was what cost him his outing, and that was why he couldn't go deeper into the game.
So 35 runs through the first 2 games combined between these two teams. Of course, the first time they met back on June 27th in Orleans, then back here at McKeon Park on July 5th. But then you take it down as we'll have a very own interview between James Kluggish and Mitch Carricker.
James Kluggish here with Coach Mitch Carricker. Coach, some great pitching tonight. What did you see from the bump?
Yeah, I think overall it was a pretty good job. Probably a few too many walks. Got behind in the count quite a bit, which gave their hitters a chance to get some good swings off. But overall, really good effort.
Yeah, we saw 12 hits from Hyannis tonight, but only 2 runs. How do you turn those hits into more runners going across the plate?
Yeah, I think stringing those hits together would be good. I felt like we get a couple hits and then get out a couple of times, and so just trying to string those together would be better. But overall, I thought we did a really good job at the plate.
And then finally, with only a couple more games until the All-Star break, what are you going to do to get a streak going, which it seems like you've been struggling to do? How do you get, string a couple of these wins together?
Yeah, I think just consistency, and I think we're playing more consistent. Obviously, we didn't win tonight, but I thought the last game we played was really good, and tonight we played well. We just kind of came up short a little bit, but if we can continue to do that, I like our chances.
Well, thank you so much. Guys, back to you in the booth.
Thanks so much, James. We'll talk about the interview in just a moment on the other side of this break.
I think, Dean, they're allowing you to find your own success and your own true independence.
Dean is a whole group of all different kinds of people and communities.
Since I've come to Dean, I've learned a lot of time management skills.
Our community is especially tight-knit, and the majority of our students live on campus. And you are guaranteed 4 years of housing while you attend Dean.
Dean is just full of opportunities for you to embrace, to welcome, so you can change yourself to who you want to be and form your career for the future.
So go through that, all right? Think that way.
Be a bulldog. Have a bulldog mentality in everything you do in life, whether you're playing sports or in the classroom or just socializing around campus.
Back here at McKeon Park, Max Schwartzberg alongside Sam Montag here on Hawk Talk. After the Mitch Carricker interview, I think it's pretty clear, Sam, that he's not all too concerned with this loss because there's a lot to be taken positive from it.
there were tons of positives throughout the entire game, and it started off in that third inning with the Brody Briggs hit, and it just compounded off of that. The Hawks' bats really did come to life tonight. They just didn't come to life together, and we heard Coach Carricker say that he wished that the hits had been strung together a little bit more. That's going to give teams these rallies in those big innings. Instead, we saw a lot of one-offs, and that was really what forced them to be unable to get as many runs.
And let's not forget, Charlie Bates, we talked about a guy who's been unlucky in the past. He had a really good swing back in the 7th or 8th inning that had 2 guys on base that time, the tying run on first base. And that just didn't go the Harbor Hawks' way, so it could have really changed the complexion of the entire game. But then if we move it to just the broader perspective, of course, Hyannis needed the answer after that really tough loss to Bourne on Tuesday. They got that in Falmouth on Wednesday. They unfortunately fell short today, and that's what Mitch Carricker said. But if we just compare this game to what we saw back on Tuesday, Sam, a lot to be said. There's a lot there, and I say it a lot. It's my trademark. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And after this game, this is one of those losses. While, yes, it's disappointing they didn't come out on the better side of the scorebook, there is a lot to be encouraged about.
For sure. And the Bourne game, all in all, was so much dirtier and less well played than tonight. Tonight we saw a couple of blunders. We saw a few of those walks, a few of those errors here and there. But compared to that Bourne game, the Hawks are drastically better than they were. And that's something that as a coach like Coach Carricker, you want to see from your team. They're getting better. Tonight, you came out on the wrong side of it, but that's not necessarily because you played worse. It's just because it came at the wrong time. And Coach Carricker says it time and time again to us in the post-game show. That's baseball sometimes. You can't win them all. And tonight, the Hawks put on a good performance. It just didn't come at the right time, and that's what cost them.
Well, they have opportunity for redemption tomorrow. They're going to be playing Wareham back here at McKeon Park. They have an off day, or rather an off day after the Katuitt game on Sunday. And it's really the final stretch, Sam, before the All-Star break, which is this upcoming weekend. But Hyannis drops this one to Orleans 6-2. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Live Hawk Talk. For our entire production crew, Sam Montag, Charlie Adams, Daniel Bottolino, James Klugich today, as well as our sideline reporters Ethan Wax and Ava Fernandez. For myself, Max Schwartzberg, and my other broadcast partners who couldn't be here today, Giovanni Collada and Graham Nash, I'm Max Schwartzberg saying thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
I think, Dean, they're allowing you to find your own success and your own true independence.
Dean is a whole group of all different kinds of people and communities.
Since I've come to Dean, I've learned a lot of time management skills.
Our community is especially tight-knit, and the majority of our students live on campus. And you are guaranteed 4 years of housing while you attend Dean.
Dean is just full of opportunities for you to embrace, to welcome, so you can change yourself to who you want to be and form your career for the future.
So go through that, all right? Think that way.
Be a bulldog. Have a bulldog mentality in everything you do in life, whether you're playing sports or in the classroom or just socializing around campus.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.